So is it messed up if I walk away cause I'm stressed up? Sick of pulling teeth to get you to speak. Ain't talked for a month, but you think it's a week. So I'm moving on. But before I go, I have to put this down in the song, so you never forget why I had to split. This ain't about another chick, this is about respect. So I don't care what you gotta say to me. Games are all I ever see. I just gotta let you be and let you go. Don't care what you gotta say. Games are all I ever see.
Chaka chaka.
I just gotta let you be and let you go. Why should I care? You say I broke your heart, but I see no tears. Then tell me what I'm doing that is just not fair. You claim that you're my woman, but you're just not there. So where are you now? I know all about the nigga, but you say I'm foul. See you flirting constantly, steady mocking me. I love dead. I laugh and say rest in peace. I need a better chick who hustles like I. Compliment my stride and won't just pass by. Mental sick, ill in the kitchen. A freak all up in some sheets who can rock some sneaks. Or heels or whatever. In a skirt or sweats, chicks hate.
Let me get everything set up, y'all. I got to get here.
Up to the ones that ran. I don't care what you gotta say to me. Games are all
Off my album, Let You Go, Tragic Sacrifice, Volume 2. Let me get this in the Discord. Hey. I don't care what you gotta say to me. Games are all I ever see. I just gotta let you be and let you go. Let's agree to disagree. You're looking for a punk that I could never be. I'm too smooth for that. I'm realizing love is hit or miss, so I'm leaving like this. Damn quick, cause time is fast. Don't care if you get mad. It's about me. Since you're focused on you. Give me a moment. I am getting things set up, y'all.
Get your ass marinated with my hustle while I cook my cash. Cause there's a woman here tonight. It's a good wood, cause my game is tight. And I leaving tomorrow, and I ain't gonna shed no tears.
No, not at all.
I caught you slipping, now I'm dipping on you, my dear. No, I don't care what you gotta say to me. Games are all I ever see. I just gotta let you be and let you go. Don't care what you gotta say to me. Games are all I ever see. I just gotta let you be and let you go. I don't care what you gotta say to me. Games are all I ever see. I just gotta let you be and let you go. Don't care what you gotta say to me. Games are all I
Just getting something in the Discord. Just getting everything in the Discord.
I'm leaving on a jet plane, and I ain't coming back again. No, not ever again.
I need a link. What up, everybody? Welcome to Toxic Hustle. My name is Jay Tragic Jeffrey. I hope all is well with y'all. I am getting the stuff into the Discord. Let me just make sure my levels are good. I see it. All right. Bang, chicka, bang, bang, bang. Waka wang, chicka, bang, bang, bang. Oh, I need the link. Come on now. There we go. Copy link. Copy. Thank you. Come again. Let's edit this. So I put the link in the Discord. Like, yowza. There we go. Now we good. Now we all good in the hood. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Toxic Hustle. My name is Jay Tragic Jeffrey. I hope all is well on this Sabbath. I have been incognito for a few weeks. Needed a mental break after all the getting the programming set up and all that jazz. I had to take a break. The fiance and I went ahead and
took some time off. She needed it. I needed it. Mental health is real. And sometimes you just need to be able to step back and chill out. I mean, I haven't taken an actual vacay since I was 14. I had taken little breaks here and there, but not like an extended, I'm not working, I'm not bringing my laptop, I'm not doing anything type beats. So I took that time to kind of recharge. And since I knew it was coming, I tried to cram so much development work prior to leaving so that when I came back, I could kind of wash that out, the technical side of my mind state, so that I could kind of envelop and really think about the creative space, like getting back into music, getting back into art, um, getting back into being a creative. Like that's what this this world has forgot. An economy is about the manufacturing of things. And since we as a country, quote unquote, uh, haven't manufactured anything anymore, it's up to us to then, with the skill sets we have, manufacture the gross domestic product of all nations at this point, which will be media. If you don't believe me, think about it. We ain't got nothing. What are you going to build? What are you going to create that's going to be different than anything that's been built or created at this point physically? What, another shirt? What, another what computer? They're already working on that. The new quantum, whatever. So there's really nothing we manufacture. I mean, what, we can print homes? Yeah, that's really not printing anything, making anything new. So until they figure out some new thing to make, and since we've outsourced all of our damn manufacturing for the most part, and now we're spending money to kind of try to bring it back. But come on now, at this point, you're lost. You gave it up, bruh. So what I did was take some time to reflect, take some time to just get my head right. And while I was away, this guy over here, Senor Jerome Powell, has been out on these streets basically lying to us, right? Which is kind of what this image that the AI generated. I was like, Jerome Powell casting casting magic on reporters. That was like the prompt I gave the AI, and this is one of the images it spit out for me. If you want to know, Mid Journey is the AI I'm currently using. Link in the description for not no link in the Discord of the Musical Geniuses Discord. You have to scroll up, where I've given you the link to the AI I've been using for a lot of the covers that I've been doing now. So pretty much the need to center yourself, right, through this madness. There's so many lies going on. Jerome saying that we don't have a recession, though the definition up until, I mean, even there's a video of Bill Clinton saying that 2 negative quarters of GDP growth is the definition, or the textbook definition, of a recession. And he had like George Bush sitting right next to him. So that has been and was the technical definition. And I told y'all in the last video, I was like, yo, by the time, the end of the month comes around and the latest numbers come out, when Jerome speaks, we'd be in a recession. And those negative numbers came in. And of course, now they're trying to rewrite history and say that there's no negative recession. We're not in a recession, right? Now, Elon basically, Wikipedia tried to pull some Bobo-ish, right? So if you're not able to see the screen, I've got a news article that I'd seen on my way back from vacation. And basically, Elon calls out Wikipedia because they changed the edit of the word recession, because they've been modifying what it means to be in a recession. They're trying to change the narrative to fit what's going on right now. And the thing is that they can't just keep trying to rewind or keep shifting things. It doesn't change what's going on in the economy. Whether or not you want to believe we're in a recession or not doesn't really matter. Honestly, it doesn't matter how you and I feel about it. The fact is the country growing or not? And if you think about it, I don't give a damn. Nobody said it was 2 quarters in the same year. They said 2 quarters of negative GDP. December had a last year we had negative GDP numbers hit the the last quarter of the year. Then the first quarter of this year, then the second quarter of this year. So we have at least 3 quarters of negative GDP growth. Let's not play cute and clamorous, as MG says. Like, these people are trying to do their like I said, hocus pocus magic. And the fact is, like, even if we go, like, if I use just the Russell 2000, right? Look, and we had already seen a negative GDP growth the fourth quarter of last year. So they need to stop it. They need to stop with the bullshit. Now, as I've told y'all, I put shorts into the market on the S&P 500. This is the Russell, actually. On the S&P 500, I put my shorts in back in, I want to say, January, because I believed that we were getting ready to flip on the other side of this game and begin a negative pull down, no different than the 2008, 2007 recession. How do I know this? I work for Citibank Private Bank. The Citibank Private Bank is the bank that you must have, or the private bank side of the commercial banks that cater to a net worth of $5 million and above. So when they started laying off people, and we have, like, quote unquote, all this money and high value, and they're letting people go, that let me know there was a problem. I didn't know what the problem was. I didn't understand the economy back then. I was a younger knucklehead than I am now. I'm just an older knucklehead now. So we have to understand that when you start seeing problems in the banking sector, when there's already layoffs, and then I was in the tech side of the banking sector, I was doing websites and web design. So we were acting as a small agency or a web design company from within the bank. So the minute they were reducing the employees in there, it's no different than saying we're going to lay off people in our tech sector, right? So I had already seen twofold a layoff in the tech industry inside the bank, because we acted as an independent vessel inside there. And then I saw what was happening to the people that were just like the higher ups and the VPs that were handling the money on the investment side, those people getting laid off. Same thing you see right now. Now, what we saw in 2007, 2008, like I always say, is the fact that homes were made into derivatives. And if you look at Enron, and if you looked at Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, and all these other companies, if you look at what was going on, that was just the home markets that was tied to derivatives. Well, now we have a different problem. Our problem is that not only is our homes tied there, we have title payment loans tied to derivatives. We have payday loans tied to derivatives. We have car loans tied to derivatives. And all of those need a job. And if we're in a now major layoff scenario, well, how does a person who's now paid for a car that last year has been going up and this year's been going up on value, and now the average payment is what, $700? Average car payment? Yeah, $648 in the first quarter. That means we still got some time to see. This is lagging indicator. I believe it's closer to $1,000 now. Now imagine that on top of all the other ish you got going on in your life right now, and they're trying to tell you there's no recession. So yeah, I'm on a beach somewhere, and I'm listening to Senor. I'm listening to the people listening to Jerome because I ain't got time to sit there and listen to Jerome on my damn vacation. I'm on the beach, man. I'm on the beach, boy. And next thing I know, I'm hearing him, and I'm hearing what he's saying. And he's saying, "Oh, we don't really think that there's a recession." Really, bruh? So what we all can clearly effing see out here isn't happening. Okay, again, hocus pocus. So today, what I want to do is let's just look at some of the numbers in the economy, and let's just see if what Senor Jerome is telling us is factual or the bullshit, right? So first and foremost, hold on. Let me open up my economic charts. I had to do that again, didn't I? Hold on. Opened it in the wrong window. Because I got all my screens today. I'm ready. Eyes ready. All right. Let me open a new window. Bang. And let me get my charts over here. Hey, you, get over here. There we go. All right. So we're on the Fred, right? Our economic data from the St. Louis Federal Reserve. As we wait for it to load, what I'm doing now is loading up our personal savings data. So you can see as we go back, this is what's in our bank accounts. You know me, we got a pocket watch. Instead of listening to what they want to tell us, let's check and just look at the data and see the numbers our damn self. Again, these are lagging. They're not like immediate. Let's go back to 2018. 2019, you see where bank accounts are, 7.3 in December 2019. And look at where we are now. We're down to 5.1. We've now rolled over from where we were before last year when I showed you, last month when I was showing you the Fred we saw this little bit of a spike up, and I was like, don't get gas. That's some people, again, the oligarchs back then. I told you they were doing the sell-off. They were still the people that were insiders. That insiders are those that are in companies or those that have executive positions inside a corporation are selling, or even employees that have gotten stock or stock shares, or even officers in the business that have shares or are paid in shares. They can sell their shares, and those shares go into the market, and that's an insider sell. And I said, hey, they've been selling off, and that's all this spike is, right? And then it will go back down, and bam, here we go. It's sold back down. So again, the BS that they're talking about, where is while everybody's waiting for this rally, ask yourself how. Unless this rally, the stock market, this correlates to the stock market. As you see this go up, if we go, let's say, where is this? February of 2020, bang. Now, if we go over to Bitcoin, and we go back in time to February, December 19th, right after February 2020, right? All of a sudden, around April, the checks are rolling out. See, you got this spike all the way to April. The max spike is in April 2020, right? April 2020. Keep that in your mind. April 2020. Boom, March. April 2020, look at what happens to the stock market. Rise, it rises up. Then boom, right around December. Well, hold on, let's squash this down just a little bit. And let me take some of these charts out of here so we can actually see this. And let me get a few of these lines up out of here. So, oops, hold on. Let me turn off. No, that can stay. What do I need to turn off, man? That's all right. Just check this out. So, boom. Right around here, all of a sudden you see is the peak. Where's the peak? Right around December, last week of December. But you start seeing a little bit of a collapse right here, because this is all that that winter pump that was happening, like, oh, we're going to have this Christmas rally BS. That's the Christmas rally-ish. But if you look at this, we kind of topped up here. But if you can see right here, right around November timeline is pretty much the cusp when we were done. Let's go back to the bank accounts. And let's get all the way here. Where are we? July, we have a spike. January 2021, March 2021 is our second spike. And then November 2021, December, right here. So you're seeing money's running out. September, October, we spike in December, Christmas rally, but we'd already pretty much bottomed out right here, which is right around where we had started back in 2018/2019. So our bank accounts were just about back where they were. But then, of course, December and then January, basically, bank accounts are empty. So everybody threw money in December, and then by January, bank accounts are empty. Let's go back to Bitcoin. You see December. Hold on. Right here. 2021. We're in January now. And then after January, it just kills off. And we're on the day, right? Let me switch this to actually, can I go to make this a little bit easier? Let's make this the weekly. This way you can just actually see the charts in a easier fashion. So January, and it dips and it just drops off. And then you see a little spike, and then it drops off. Again, same as what's kind of going on over here. So we have to understand our bank accounts are emptier than when they were pre all of this crap. So when is the stock market going to pump back up? So while, oh yeah, it's a rally, has nothing to there's no problem. Blah, 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 blah. Really? All right, so this is what we're doing right now. And these cornballs are still thinking like they got us bamboozled into believing that this economy is okay. And of course, all of us know better than that, but it hasn't hit it hasn't hit their family members yet, because there's got to be a 1%, and their 1% of their families are the ones that are still probably upper middle. And while they're hurting a bit, they ain't hurting a bit. What up, RTP? Right? So again, and when I tell y'all they're like I showed you before, they're printing money into the system. Let's go and look at let's look at what they're doing. First things, like, where is it? Where are they? Here it is. Look at here. This is the Federal Reserve. This is them. This is the total assets that they hold. So now remember, they're buying asset-backed securities. So they're buying companies now. They figured out a way to be able to put money in the Apples and the Googles and all this other ish. And y'all saw they're now going to give money to like Intel and Nvidia and all that stuff for the chips. Right? So now, as I showed y'all this BS, Bobo, if you didn't see this before, I want you to take a look and watch the correlation to the S&P 500. Again, the biggest traded stuff on the stock exchange. We're not even dealing with crypto, right? We're just dealing with the stocks, right? So, boom. No money. They were supposed to, in March, begin stopping their payments. So let's look at these little spikes that's been going on. February, let's see, February 23rd, 2022 is a spike. Let's go here where we in March, when they were supposed to, we'll say April. Well, yeah, March, when they're supposed to stop doing any more spending. And as you can see, they're still spending stuff, because why are we getting spikes when it went down? It should be just going down. But there's a staggered approach that's going on. When they keep saying they're going to have a soft landing, this is what they're coining as their soft landing. They're printing money, which again is inflation. Inflating the money supply is inflation. And if that is going into these companies that they're buying the assets for, then they're inflating our dollar to buy these assets that are already overpriced. Like, think about that. these idiots are buying at the top just to prep and prop the market up at the top. These values, these investments should not even be here because all of us, what is freaking GDP, right? GDP is a domestic product. It means the energy of a country is manufacturing things, and that manufacture or services or what we sell or whatever, all of that counts so that we have a positive value going out. We have a negative value because what the hell do we create? What, Apple phones? So let's look at this. Boom. So they were supposed to stop in March. So all of a sudden, let's look at March 2nd. And let's look at the stock market in March. Let's zoom out. May. I have to go on the day now because remember, what we're seeing is, I think these are weeks. Okay, so I can probably go into weeks. But we're gonna do it this way. Hold on, we're gonna do it this way just to see if we can actually see it better. So March 16th. So we should be going down in the stock market right around March 2nd. May. So April. Here we go. March. So right around March 2nd, we should be going down. March 4th. Okay. So that would be it going down. Then right around here, all of a sudden we spike. So that's March 15th. Let's go on the other side of the world and see what we got now. March 16th. Looky, looky. I said March 15th, and there's a spike. Right? So now you see, right around March 15th, 16th, we have a spike that happens up here. Where are you? April. Sorry. There we go. Right? 15th, 16th, boom. Now all of a sudden we have a spike in the stock market right when they did something. Is that a fluke? Okay, right here. We're going to go to March 23rd. The market should be going down between March 23rd to March 30th, even down to April 6th. So right around March 30th through April 6th, we should see the stock market taking a dip. March something to April 2nd, take a dip. March something. Here we go. March. Okay. Through April 2nd, right? Hold on. So March 2nd, they're buying through March 9th and March 16th. They're buying through March 9th and March 16th. March 9th through March 16th, market's going up. All the way through April 2nd, right? Right around April. So there you go. There is your purchases to prop this market back up right there. All right. Let's try it again. April 13th. So April 6th, we should be around March 30th, April 6th, April 3rd. Oh, no, we already did that one. All right. So let's say April 22nd through May 18th. April 27th, excuse me. April 27th, we should see a dip through May 18th. April 22nd. So May, April, May. Okay. We got a little spike, but that's nothing. May, right here, 25th through April 2nd. I mean, April 27th. April 27th. Where's April 27th? April. Okay, we got dips. April. And then, there we go. April 22nd. We still follow a dip. Dip, right? To May 2nd. May 2nd, all of a sudden, we have a little spike. We're on May 2nd through May 4th. We have a spike. So around May 2nd through May 4th, May 4th, here you go, you're buying. Then May 11th, right? So that'd be right around here. May 2nd. And then you got a little spike right around May 3rd, May 4th, May 10th. I don't think they could hold it up. Hence, they kept printing all the way through June 15th. So they couldn't hold the market up. They printed all the way through June 15th and June 22nd. So June 15th, May, June 15th. So right here, June 15th through May 22nd. Through May. Wait, here we go. June. June to July, sorry. From May to June. So right here. So we're going to look through May 25th, sorry, to June 22nd. So May to June 22nd. May. So here's May, print to June 22nd. So they printed enough to keep it from bottoming out. So it's not always to spike the market, it's to keep the market from also falling down. And this is the game that they're consistently playing. This is what we got to look at. The fact that these people are propping the market up to keep it from falling down. And I bet you we're going to see this spike happening here is nothing more when the time comes next month and we look back, we're going to see that this is them again still printing money. So they're propping this market up, keeping this market up, buying asset-backed securities just to maintain the status quo of the stock exchange. And this is in the data. That's what we're looking at. We're just verifying that the data we see from the Federal Reserve validates across to the stock exchange on the assets that they're going to buy, that they feel quote unquote safe is the S&P. Because the S&P is basically the largest index. So what does that mean for things like BTC? As I told you, we're in crypto winter. Now, let's go to the weekly, which we're on now. And I'm going to slide this chart up. And then I want to show you where we are. So we had a slight dip area. I tell you, those dips come between here, but we still have 2 more triggers to come down for this is going to be around September. These September dips, which is right around where I think the stock market also systemically has a bad time. Let's look in the past to September. Right here, right? So let's look at September here. So the first week of September, you see a dip there. Let's go back in time further. When's the last September? September, February, March. Let's go to 2020 and scoot down. 2020, June, July, August, September dip in the 20, right? So right around in September 20, the first week of September here. And then if we go up here to 21, here we go. Right here, first week of September here. So the first week of September on the S&P 500, 2 years in a row, you see a dip. We go to Bitcoin, which of course is just as almost like a technology stock. First week of September, there you go. First week of September, there you go. 21, first week. And I have to go into the other one over here so we can, this is my Seasons of Bitcoin from my old platform. If we go back to 20, first week of September, there's your dip. So in Bitcoin, it correlates just like the S&P 500 as to the dips that you get. So if the S&P has already been showing you that around September you're going to see a dip, and I'm telling you, hey, Bitcoin, first week of September, may have a dip, right here, here's your dip. So get ready. Because again, if we are doing sentiment charting, which is your purple lines, your monthly lines, these are major break lines. And if we zoom, hold on, let me get at least the weekly down so we can see it. Right? And if you see right here, let's close this out for a second so we can actually just look at these and kind of keep these things right here. Right? And now we have right here, here's our purple that we are not going to get back to. And there's our next purple. Now, the way that this works is monthly lines are major support lines. When you break a monthly line, you have to have enough energy to get back up to break it. We're not there. Again, seasons Bitcoin, you understand that November, there's a dip. You just saw that last November. So don't get gas. You saw what happened last November. Last November, we were all here, and I said, watch out, y'all. And bang, when that November dip happens, it's the most significant dip that we have next to the January dip. Why is there a November dip? It's the best time for technology. So people will cash out of crypto, at least miners will cash their crypto to get those Black Friday deals on electronics. Because you want to buy that electronics at the lowest part cost. And that is one of the best times to get it, short of right after the consumer, what is it? The consumer show. So we got a November dip coming, and then we got another January dip. Where is our purple lines? Since we know that this is pretty much what we're looking for. So where's our purple line? Boom. Where are we? We're here. This is the one purple line we're not going to get to no time soon. And then you've got this one down here. And that's at 19K. The next one below that is about 11K. Zoom this up. Here's your 19. There's your next purple line right here is a 13K. Right? There's your next, so 13,000. And then your next one under that is 11,000. And then your next one under that is your 7,000. So when you see major lines like this, and then you still have major areas like this coming, every single time a major drop happens, you're hitting a purple line. So that's why I say it can between right now, between here and the fall of this year, you could easily be seeing a 11,000 and or 7,000 Bitcoin, just depending on how we survive this right here, the September dip. If the September dip brings us to 13, then the November dip is bringing us to 11, guaranteed. And then the January dip brings us to 7,000 next year. This is why I said I'm not even worried about Bitcoin until March of next year. I'm not worried about it. It makes no sense to me to worry about speculating on that when at the same time you're looking at jobs that are beginning to lay off. You're seeing people scaling back. You're seeing the interest rates are going. They can't do a pivot right now. They have to tame inflation. They have to crush demand. That's exactly what Powell has been saying. It's this guy, the cocaine master, the money that he infuses into the system, the money that's burning into the system to prop up these assets, that's the cocaine. And everybody says don't fight the Fed until they need to fight the Fed. At least until they don't, until the Fed does something they don't like. Is don't fight the Fed when the market's going up. Well, don't fight the Fed when the market's going down. And he's pumping cocaine into the market to try to keep his juggling act up. We know this whole economy is a Ponzi scheme. This entire economy, like look at a pension plans, need somebody else to pay money into it to keep it up. Social Security needs other people to pay money to keep it up. Well, what if you don't have a job to pay Social Security and or anybody's pension? Well, then their pensions fall down, go boom. Like my mom's pension is. So when I'm talking this, don't think that I'm not in this with everybody. I'm feeling the same ish. I'm feeling it more because I have a mother who honestly I have to try to take care of in and needs nursing care, and it's expensive. So I have to try to outpace inflation while while what it costs to take care of her is going up and up and up because their costs are going up and up and up. So I've got to outpace inflation just like you do, but I have to do it for three now, for myself, for my wife or future wife, and for my mom who can't do it for herself anymore, who didn't plan for a time when her brain wasn't going to be functioning for her to understand the world anymore. And that crushes a person's soul because now that weight goes on me to try to figure it out for her investments because nobody's going to watch it for her. They would just let it fall the hell down. Oh no, I started shorting the market, trying to get some interest to pad out her assets. And that's what we all have to do. Figure out ways to get past the inflation. Well, how you get past the inflation now is the creation of something. It's not trying to F with the market. The market's going to be crazy. Yeah, you can get into Vanguard World Fund, and then it's going to get you some percentages. It might get you an 8%, it might get you a 5%, but that ain't going to beat the 25, 30% we're pretty much rocking on. And where am I getting potentially those numbers for what the inflation rate is really might be is shadowstats.com. Go over here, go over to inflation, and these, if you use the old numbers they had, look at this damn number. This is where they're saying the inflation rate is, and this is where the inflation rate really is if you calculate it back here or down here in this. This is the 1980 way of doing it. We'd be at 15%, over 15%, closer to 20, close to like 20%. Like we're like 17 or something percent over here. And if we do it over here with the numbers from where is this? This 1990, well then we're only looking at, oh shoot, I mean, well, it's I guess 11, 12% if they use those older numbers. But to see that your inflation rate's actually potentially up here, and you already know that these numbers back here were cooked too. They keep moving the bar, moving the bar, moving the bar on what this is. So what we have to do is move the bar, and how you can create income. This is how I survived in 2008, 2007. This is really, it was in Macon. I was already feeling it back in 2005, 2006. And then I went on MySpace and started selling CD covers. I used my skill in Photoshop to be able to say, hey, I'll sell you something for $25. Because I told y'all like for the last couple of weeks, what you have to do is rewind how you think about money now. You can't think about money long term if you don't have money in your short term. What do you have to do? You have to try to figure out how to eat and pay your rent and your bills. Now, you can do it with a job, yes, and you should do it with a job, but also do it by upgrading your skill sets, figuring out what the next thing you may need to be into so that you can pivot over there, start learning that now. So as those jobs become prevalent, you have another way in. Like for me, I looked and said, hey, I was working at the bank. There was this thing called content management systems. It was called TeamSite. It was a content management system. I was like, I wonder if there's an open source content management system that everybody will get access to. As I think this is the new thing. So then I went looking. I knew PHP was going to be the lead technology because it was easy for my dumb ass to know and learn. And I knew MySQL was going to be it because they work together. And what I said was, okay, as long as I can work with PHP and MySQL, there you go. Now I just need to find a content management system, especially since it worked with Dreamweaver. So I just like, okay, well, I can kind of pseudo hack my way into a skill set in PHP. That's how I hacked my way into becoming a developer. And then I was looking for a content management system that I'd be able to use to be able to learn and then be able to put that on my resume and then go get jobs with. Lo and behold, I found 3. One was early, so I didn't mess with it. The other 2 was PHP Nuke, right here. Web-based automated news publishing content management system. They have a stable release here, but let me see. They have one when it actually was launched. I'm surprised it's still around. I'm surprised they still have updates. But this was the big thing, and I was learning it, and this is where it was going to go. Then the next one was this PHP website. 2015, they pretty much stopped upgrading that. There was another content management system. Those 2 were the ones I was looking at back to back. And then all of a sudden, the one that I didn't like so much said it was too early, came up with this version 2.5. Came out in 2008. Notice how I'm telling y'all when things change. Like, I can just throw these things out and I know exactly when they happened. I remember when they happened. When this came out in 2008, I kept an eye on it. Why? New features. Administration panels, so you could work on the back end. Widget-based dashboard. And now you could add widgets to your pages. So now you could kind of like create these Lego blocks and piece them together. So from here on out, I started working with this. Now, this was great for a website. This is great for a blog. Excuse me. This is great for a news platform. But as I started working with this in 2010, 2011, I saw the flaws in trying to build this into an application, because me and Johnny were talking about the fact that, hey, I was like, hey, it was me, Johnny, and Ty, and we were working on Ty's album, Ty Durden. And I was sitting there like, hey, this thing's, this website, this WordPress thing is dope and it's great for a website, but I'm trying to build these apps with it, and I have to get like $1,000 server to run this ish. Because back then you have to buy a dedicated server. There was no Amazon Web Services. There were no $5 web service. No, you were buying a shared domain for like $5 or $10. But then you couldn't put this. If you put too much bandwidth on that, they kick you off the server, which means I didn't have a business. If the server at any point in time could just kick me off for my usage, that didn't work. And that's what I'm talking about. Even with PayPal, like, I couldn't really make a business with PayPal because PayPal could turn me off. If there was something I did that they didn't like, they could just shut down my account and say, well, you have to go through verification again. I could be losing money for a week and a half going through verifications. This is why I like blockchain for one thing. My wallet, that address, yeah, you can try to block me from being able to cash out or move my money, but you can't just block me from my assets. My assets are still in my wallet. You can just try to block me from how I use them. Okay, I got that. But it's a different situation than being on PayPal and PayPal just shuts me down and now I can't pay bills. See, now I can sit there and say, if I'm holding it in this wallet, all right, PayPal, you want to screw with me? Well, them over there, they allow me to do this. I'll just work with them. Now I'm reducing their effect on me. Because we got to look at our points of failure. We have to stop having, what I like to say, ports of exit. If we treat this like maritime, right? Like we're Moors, right? So we should be treating this like maritime. Your ports of entry and your ports of exit. Your ports of entry is, how do I make money? Your ports of exit is, how do I spend money? Right? I have to be able to go back home and be with my family, and I need to be able to feed them. Your ports of exit. What's your ports of entry? I'm going to a dock, to dry dock, to be able to do commerce with something I have. So my ports of entry were my website, my going into social media like MySpace back in the day, putting up these graphics that I'm doing and saying that I'm charging $25 for a graphic. Now they contact me via the website. They fill out a form. I then work with them via their email to then have them give me my money via PayPal. And now my ports of exit is the debit card that I got from PayPal, the business debit card that I got, being able to swipe it and eat Church's Chicken because it was down the street after I was locked up and I lost my home and I'm on the street. And one of the homeboys I was writing for, I was making music for, being his producer, had let me stay at his house because I lost mine. That's the simplicity. I'm out on the street and I'm still able to eat because somebody allowed me to stay someplace and I could get back on my feet. But yes, the flaw in this entire situation is you need internet access. Well, guess what? Isn't that what everybody needs at this point now? Because don't you got to work remote? That's what I think, but people forgot. We're all stuck in the same problem. If we ain't got electricity, this every business, right? If you have a restaurant and your restaurant in the neighborhood loses electricity, you can't turn on your lights, your refrigerator goes off, your food goes bad. The only thing you can do is cook because you have gas, right? But you have to hope that what feeds the gas lines isn't on any type of electrical power because then the gas stops. So if we're all kind of tied to electricity, it doesn't matter if you're a physical business that needs the electricity to have the lights on for somebody to come into your store, or if you're a technologist that's working online and you need an internet access to be able to, and you need electricity to have your internet working. So we're all tied to, if no power, no worky. Okay, well then we're going caveman style then, right? Or we're going native style. Then you better know how to have a skill that you can go forage for food and know how to get that, or that you have a network of people you can work with to be able to get meals from. But until we have some crazy biblical shock and awe system that shuts down everything, like basically all electricity goes the hell on out, I'm going to focus on trying to do business as if, hey, we'll still at least have power and I still have an ability to communicate. And that's what we all should do at this point in time. That's all we can do. So what I learned back in 2008, 2010 was that the way that the web was working wasn't going to work when you needed an app, when you needed to be able to take on like, how do you scale your business to at least 1,000 people? Like, people don't think about that. They think I'm just going to jump into a business. Okay, how do you service that business if you need 1,000 people? Because I mean, look, you can't be thinking about doing business to just 1, 5, 10 people, right? You need to at least be thinking, hey, I got to do 100. Well, how do you work that? And how do you work that in music? Like, for us, this is the BS. You got to understand. And this is where we get into some of the music talk. Like, because last night, Johnny Streams, well, shout out Johnny. Johnny Streams and I had a conversation. Like, I broke some stuff down because like I said, I've been on vacation. And when I came back, I'm hungry now. Like, I'm hungry for the music on the creative side of the business. I'm putting away a lot of the technical side because I'm done. The robots are ready. We'll talk about automation of everything in a minute. But I knew when I came back, I'm going to be focused on my music, and I needed to just take some time to get my headspace ready for that shit. Now, Johnny and I had a conversation, and I was telling him last night about like the industry. Same thing y'all have already kind of heard from me when I was saying, like, look, y'all are the industry now. There is no line in the sand. You no longer need a label at the beginning stage of your music. And I even said to Johnny, I was like, look, if you think about it, what is your music career? And I'm doing this from a 1990 perspective, having done the street team stuff for Jay-Z. When I was putting up snipes, which is like the papers on the posters on the construction site. Right. And I was working with Wayne, pain in the ass. Okay, I've reloaded. He lived right down the street from me. And he hustled me because like, yo, I'll show you Jay-Z, man. I'll bring you out there, yo, for real. Cause I hear your beats. I love them. We're going to do this, man. But you gotta put in that grind, homie. All right, man. Sure. Like, you can keep all that rah-rah shit. Let's talk to me regular. Like, but he was so skied up and I didn't understand he was skied up, which that means he was on that, hold on, I'm trying to pull the Jerome Powell because I don't want to say the word. What he has on the table, right? So I was talking to him and I was like, "Yo, man." Um, so I was doing the street team stuff, and the same hustle that I was seeing, like this is the business. So if you're an artist, this is how you had to work right around the Missy era slash Busta Rhymes era. I went to Manhattan. I had to go into a studio. I paid $5,000 to be able to get into the studio, not to do any actual work as a producer. It's to work with the studio producer that got me in the door, and I had to pay him to be able to record there. So I paid 5 grand, and that would get me a lump sum of time, and then boom, now I have like some music that now I gotta go shop. So now I gotta go to the labels and I gotta park my ass outside or have a friend like, and I gotta hustle tapes and or CDs. And that's how you got in the door to even just try to get your label done. All right, so now what do? You finally get in the door, and what they tell you is we're going to give you an advance. An advance is nothing more than a loan. Now, when they give you this loan, you got to pay it back. And because you ain't paid it back yet, they're not going to give you full royalty rates. They're going to give you fractional royalty rates. So if there's 100 points or 100% of an album, you're only going to get X amount of points until you pay it back off. And even then, you're still not going to see 80% of your damn royalties, or excuse me, 60% of your royalties. You're still going to lose a lot to producers and to executive producers and to management teams and to blah, blah, blah. There's a bunch of people in your fingers and in your pockets that are taking points away from you all the way down. And what you're left with is maybe 5 points, maybe 4 points, depending on how you negotiate it. And then you get half of the first maybe 8 to 12 weeks, they want to give you even less points because they're like, hey, we're taking money and we're going to be promoting you. So we need to get that extra money out of your royalties to pay for that. And that's only if you don't even have to worry about there's loopholes in your contract that they can double dip and triple dip on you. So you can not see any pennies. You can see like fractional pennies 6 months later, because it takes you about 6 months before you even see your first royalty check. And then the only way you make money now, remember, they gave you a loan. They ain't giving you a check, like a weekly check. They gave you a loan up front. Out of that, you got to do your recording sessions. You got to pay for all this other stuff. And when you do your shows, that's also part of your budget to get your shows going. So once you've got to be able to plan this money through your recording, through getting, and they're not helping you through this. And this is why when everybody looks at the label, they're like, well, the label didn't help me. No, you didn't understand the process of this business. I gave you a loan like a business. You have your LLC is how you're getting your royalties. So your artist name is your LLC. You're the company, and your company should have managed the loan or investment I gave to your company. I gave you a lump sum. You agreed to that. And on this contract, I already told you, you got to make an album. You got to start presenting your album to the general public and going on tour through this lump I'm giving you. And if you mismanagement, that's your fault. That's the bobo, right? And all of this. Now you got to do maybe 300-day tours. So you're traveling on your own, spending your own gas, doing whatever you got to do to get. If you don't see the hustle, look at who is it? Look at Kanye has a Netflix. Yeah, this one. This Genius Kanye trilogy on if watch this, and you can see nobody believed that this producer was a rapper. He walked into the label and started rapping at the label, playing his songs at the label after his accident, and nobody believed in it, and they were looking at him like he's crazy. But he's trying to get them to hear it at least. Nobody's believing him. He's taking his own money and putting it into his own ish. And this is what we got to think about. You have to do whatever you need. So why did you need their investment? Now you're going everywhere doing all this. And what's the end game? This is what Johnny and I were talking about. Like, yo, Johnny, what's the end game of you being an artist? The end game is at some point in time, you're not going to be making as much music as you did when you first started. And what you're going to have to do is live off of your royalties. Okay, so you're supposed to be earning royalties. You want to have a catalog that you can earn royalties with for the rest of your life. Okay, so why do you lead a label if CD Baby gives you your royalties straight up? I'll wait. I'm showing you right now my CD Baby screen. Before I left, I did an update. You can see it up here. I got to do another update tomorrow. But I can tell you right now, where I'm getting the most amount of royalties is the YouTube content ID. If you're not getting your YouTube royalties, what are you doing? This leads us to the shortest distance between 2 points is a straight line. That's what we hear. But we also got quantum physics, right? And that means 2 points can exist in the same place and interact from 2 different locations simultaneously. That you don't even need to go to the other point because the other point already has the information. Quantum type beats. Now think about that. In your music career, the straight line theory is, okay, the fastest way for you to get your royalties is going through this company, and then you get your royalties. And in a passive way, the only thing you have to do is get utility for your music, i.e., put it behind something that you like, that other people like, whatever the hell is hot. Why don't you be the soundtrack to that? Make a YouTube channel and just put it up and put more up and put more up and just keep doing that. And then people and start sharing that and start putting it places and have other people share this ish. And then you can do this on other channels. Like if you look at this is the year-to-date royalty partner views. What that means is on CD Baby, everybody is a partner that gives you royalties. And what I did was I said, hey, I'm using Coda, by the way, if you're looking at Coda.io. What I did is I took my YouTube CD Baby data, dropped it in here. You can use graphs, and then I can then get some kind of understanding of the data. I can make these charts, and I can look at the shit. Just like every other label out there can do with their data, but you become your own Nielsen ratings. Just like right now, you can't trust the bank. You need to be your own bank. Just like we all can't trust the central bank, right? Their job is to crush demand, which means we've got to stop people spending, which means we might need some layoffs, which is exactly what they're getting. Which means if you don't have a job, how do you earn? That's how they're crushing demand, because now you can't spend. That's the Bobo. So now if I'm looking at year to date, I got a content ID. I've got my YouTube CMS publishing that's been generating some royalties, but this is this is the cash flow of what is generating the most amount of cash flow. This is the most amount of views. And you can see views and cash flow don't equal the same thing. What's generating you the most money isn't always the thing that's generating the most visuals. So now if we look at just the money breakdown of your money tree, when you're on CD Baby, you're looking at your YouTube content ID, i.e. the watermark of your audio that you can put behind any video you want, or play it in the beginning like I did of this video and get royalties. So it still replays and I still get royalties. And then boom, you've got YouTube music. So again, you can make money 1 way, 2 way, 3 the hard way. CMS. You don't even see YouTube music but a little blip up here, but evidently it's a good chunk of your cash flow. So now when I tell y'all, if you're not getting your YouTube royalties, what are you doing? Look, the majority of the royalties that I get for the views I get that are on the most passively viewed search engine on the planet is YouTube, one of the second largest search engine in the world. The first is Google itself, and the second is YouTube, owned by Alphabet, i.e., Google. And I always say, follow the money, especially when you're dealing with a recession. Like, I saw everybody on MySpace, I followed everybody on MySpace, I stayed on that social network and made money through the last recession. Right now, what is the network that has cash? TikTok isn't even a blip in how I currently make cash. So I don't care about TikTok for my money. TikTok's great for some visibility. TikTok, yeah, can get you some views and get you all that. Yeah. But it ain't generating no real cash for me yet. Right? And then my next one is Spotify as the next network channel or partner channel. Spotify takes up a small now chunk of my overall cash flow. And that's why I say, if you're already if you could if this is the largest chunk of my cash flow, and I haven't even started really marketing yet, and what I'm pointing at, if you're not looking at the screen, is the YouTube content ID. That's your watermark from CD Baby. That right there, all you do is you put that to any video you want. As I was telling Johnny last night, I was like, yo, man, you can sit like me. I like anime. So I can take clips from the hottest parts of the whatever new anime is out, piece together, like, let's say a new episode of Dragon Ball Z comes out. And on that, I can take 3 pieces of the thing of it. And then let's say my song is 3 minutes and change, or beat is 3 minutes and change. I can now clip these clips together, get it to about 3 minutes, and have my music playing. If somebody listens to like even a couple minutes, like a minute of the damn thing, you get your royalty points. So it's a passive stream of income. So then I just have to crank out content. Again, you have to be a manufacturer of something. So I can't just make beats. I have to have an end product. What is the end product for music? It's video. Look at the TV, turn it on, wait for a commercial, unmute your TV. Do you hear music? Guess what? That's utility. It's as simple as that. What is YouTube? YouTube is a television network. Don't believe me? I just put in my search engine, YouTube premium price. The YouTube premium price is $11.99 a month. How much is Disney Plus? Disney Plus is $7.99 a month. What makes more money? $11.99 or $7.99? I think you already know the answer. It's $11.99. Now, how many people have YouTube Premium? Total YouTube. And I'm doing this on the fly, y'all. This is how we do our research. YouTube Premium total numbers. Total YouTube subscribers. Us, YouTube Premium. Sorry. Right? Boom. YouTube Premium, as of June 30, 2022, YouTube Premium, which bundles ad-free viewing with YouTube Music, hit 30 million subscribers in 2020. That's not 2022. That's 2020. So you're already seeing 30 million viewers on this network for $11.99. Now, I have a YouTube Premium account, and I'm telling you right now, I ain't giving up my YouTube Premium account. I don't want none of these damn commercials no more. But not everybody's like that. And even if somebody streams and has a YouTube Premium account, you're getting those royalties still. I think methinks people don't see the hustle. when I tell y'all get ready, like, look, I'm about to go ham. Like, the only reason now I'm ready to start making music again, like, I haven't made. Let me go to my Spotify. When's my last album? I think it was 2016. Tragic. Let me maximize this for a second. My last album. This is not really my. This is a test. This is Beat Chronicles. This is me putting beats up on my account. This is the only one I'm going to put here. The rest of them are going to be underneath Toxic Hustle for me. So this way I can separate my instrumentals away from my songs that are going to be on my channel, right? My last song was a test. I used I used a beat that Freeway had from a known producer to see what Shazam would do. So it was just a check to see. And lo and behold, if the instrumental came, it went to somebody else. It went to the producer, and or Freeway showed up. So I already learned I needed to own my all of the sound, because Shazam, just alone, I wanted to own the sound underneath me, because I didn't want to buy a beat from like a place that people could buy, 1,000 people could buy a damn beat. And then if you Shazam the instrumental part of it before you spit or say anything, well, now all of a sudden, boom, it's gonna it could pull somebody else's name up who's more successful than you and has a little bit more funding than you and is pushed out further than you because they signed to some subsidiary label. That's what I learned with a lot of the beats I have over here with Tragic Sacrifice. So the last one was 2016. And the reason why I stopped was the process of recording a song became too restrictive. I didn't feel free anymore, and every single song that I put out was draining. Like I could like to get through recording, mixing, doing all the work by myself, and I did all of these albums by myself. But thankfully, what I gave up, the sacrifice, why it's called Tragic Sacrifice, was I gave up me being a producer. I wasn't going to produce the album. I was going to use beat jacks and rap on top of them, so that the rapper in me could at least get words out, because I was going through pain at the time. 2 breakups. 2 major breakups in my life. And then, like I said, this is a test. So now I took time to come up in the last few years to come up with a workflow on how do I get things out of my head? Like, how do I get the beats out and they don't die? Like, my problem was I had beats in my head, but every time I sat at the piano, and I'm not a pianist, I play by ear. So all that stuff that MG can do, C chord progression, I don't know none of that. I just have things in my head, and I just want to get them out. But the problem is, and my girl always laughs, like, I would do my drums and I'd do other things, and it would always be like boom, bap, ba boom, boom, bap. And what the hot things that was in my head, I could not turn them out or churn them out. So what I did was I took the last few years and I formulated a brand new way to make music for myself. One that reduced the strain, one that allowed me to integrate some of the things that I learned from how to writing, like to write rhyme, being able to write rhymes in my head. Because I was like, okay, if Biggie and Jay-Z can do it, I think I can figure it out myself. And I figured it out. It's just a pain in the ass, and I don't like doing it. I don't have the attention span for that. Like, I lose focus fast. So the process of writing in your head didn't work. So I took a little piece of Drake's idea and I started writing directly to the phone. That was back in the day when he was doing his first few albums. And he was writing, and he had lost his phone, and he was like on a plane. And I was like, oh shit, dude lost his phone on a plane. He was writing on his phone. That's not a bad idea. What if I stuck it in the cloud? Then it wouldn't even matter. And then I was like, Google has Google Docs. And that means if I wrote it on a Google Doc, no matter if I lost my phone, it's not like I wrote it on a text file on my phone. It's in the cloud. The phone shut off. Well, I still have all the information in the cloud. And that's what I started doing. And if you're a writer, that's what I suggest you do. So one of the things that I'm working on is not only how to speed up the writing process and the creation or the songwriting process, but to speed up, to not get stuck in creating music. How do you just craft out music? Like, I came back from vacation last night and tested my new template. I have a template that I've done in because I work in Studio One. And I crafted out a template. Shout out to Craftmaster. I actually got the idea from him on how he does some of his template setups. And then I built myself my own template to speed up my process. But I'm also attaching other things to that, which I'll talk to you all about in a bit. But as we're talking about royalties, right? And that's what you're supposed to have as an artist, me and you. What we're supposed to have is royalties. And if that's the end game, then you don't need a label anymore to do that. That's the point. You see my music right here. Did I go to a label to do that? No. Do I make royalties from Spotify? I've already showed you. Yes. I make money from Spotify, but I make way more, according to this year's data. I make way more targeting YouTube. Now, I want y'all to look at any of these companies that are giving you all you can eat, whatever uploads, and they ain't giving you YouTube and you've got to pay extra for that. Why are you even messing with that? Why? You're leaving money on the table and you don't even get the action of the utility right now. They are acting like asshole labels, locking you out of your money. When another label over here, not really a label, but a distributor, is giving you access to your money now. You just got to pay one damn time. Like, that's what I can't get. Oh, it's more expensive. It's $30 damn. You mean to tell me people forgot that the only way you could quote unquote copyright your music is to mail it to the damn government. So not only did you have to pay to record your album, right? Pay to mix your album, or you do it yourself. You have to then put it on some type of material, CD, tape, whatever, and mail it to the copyright office and pay them so that you have a timestamp of when it was done. You ain't even need that shit no more. My ninjas. It's already earning royalties. I'm cutting out all the fat of the bullshit ass industry because technology doesn't care how they feel about how you need to make money. Like, it's a wrap. It's a wrap. It's done. It's over. Like, that part of them holding that industry that way is done. And even if somebody else comes in and tries to put roadblocks in, there's another technology on the horizon that's going to supersede even CD Baby. And y'all know that's blockchain. It ain't ready yet. It's mad too early. But when I can put a contract on a piece of material and lock that on a chain somewhere, and then I can issue out shares to that ish, and then now we can promote it, market it, and everybody can earn. Come on, man. They ain't ready yet. It ain't ready. That technology ain't ready yet. And by the next cycle, maybe we'll be closer. Because we'll have gaming on, and then the games will have the music in. That's what Gala's doing. But they're not the only one. And I'll just keep an eye because I'm watching the makers of Unreal. I'm watching NVIDIA. They're creating universes unto themselves. And your material will get profitable expulsion for it. Like, there is marketplaces that you could just upload your music and people can use it. And if they Shazam it or use it or stream it or download it or attach it to anything, that's a ticking time landmine that earns you royalties. Isn't passive income supposed to be passive, not active? I think we forget what passive income means. It's not active income. My active income is I could then help a customer. I could then market a customer as a service. I could then create something for a customer like an artwork or a commercial or a music video or something for them that helps them market themselves as a service. And I can then be on the service side of the business using my own music as the backtracks to those, earning a passive stream from my service side. That's double tap. Come on now, that's sniper maneuvers. I'm gonna put that again. Let me put that one more again. So it makes it real easy. What did I just do? Not only did I get utility out of my music by putting it in a commercial for a client, because they're a client, they paid for the service for me to add my music to it. So I earned from their commercial playing, and they didn't have to do nothing. It doesn't trigger any red flags. It doesn't do nothing. YouTube just gives you a split of the ad revenue to CD Baby, and you get a split of that. No ball, no foul. A ticking time bomb with your tracks. Now, anybody that's still here and you ain't smashed that like button, make sure you do. Now, what does that mean? That means how you get creative has to change. How you get your creativity out needs to change. What did I show you? I showed you this image right here. Right here. Hold on. I want to show y'all something. I can't do that Aaron Neville right now. Oh. This is the prompt I gave the AI. And this is the image the AI spit out of Jerome Powell casting magic on reporters. This is the image AI came up with. Now, as soon as I get access to more AIs and use this one effectively, can I not create music videos that just play ideas, thought process? Can I not create? I did today. This came out today. I didn't have to go looking anywhere for anything. I could create and make stuff. Me being on this video right now is me making things. We have to get out of the consumption or the consumer side of our lifestyles, of our energy pattern. And since now AI art, I posted a link while I was on vacation, I believe, because this is on my vacation post. I didn't do too many. Here. Oh, no, that's not it. Boom, 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 boom. Boom, 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 boom. Where is it? There it is. Hey, everyone. I even put MG on this. This is July 25th. Yep, I was on vacation. And boom. Midjourney is available. The same program that created this. This is Midjourney. Same program that created this. And what did I do? Throw it into something. You can use that art and make a video. I played music at the beginning of this damn video. Guess what just happened? I'm going to get royalties on that now. Just by playing my Spotify on this damn video. And I could play a song at the end of this mug, and I could still get royalties for that. I can put this behind anything I like. Like, I like anime, I like manga. Could I not get manga stills and play some videos? Or couldn't I take a content creator who's into manga and talks about a specific chapter that just came out and make a shorts website for them and put my music behind that? And what would happen if I'm promoting them while making money passively? No ball, no foul. And I can even tag them in it and they could share it with their friends and people. And now all of a sudden I'm getting more visibility. I'm getting more streams. I'm giving y'all the same blueprint I'm using. It's not like, okay, you got to wait for Toxic Hustle Pro to do any of this stuff. No, Toxic Hustle Pro isn't about this. Toxic Hustle Pro is about y'all taking this and taking it up one more step and becoming your own agencies. Why should I be the only agency out here working? Why should I be the only one servicing clients? Like, look, everybody is going to be an entrepreneur because they have no choice. All entrepreneurs are going to need marketing, i.e., you can use your music. You just got to get creative of how you do it. Learn After Effects or some other program, whatever, and figure out how to create these videos. Yes, it's it's outside of the scope of you making your music. I get it. But until we can wait for an AI that you can just basically feed it some ish and then it'll just spit out videos for you, which best believe I'm working on. And if y'all think I'm bullshit, hold on. Open AI. Open up my beta. Bang, 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 bang. Let me log in. Bang, 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 bang. I believe it's underneath you. Let me see. Wow, here we go. There you go. There you go. Hey, there you go. This is OpenAI. This is all the stuff I can now work with through APIs with OpenAI. How do I work with those APIs? I use this software, n8n.io. I can integrate, you see this visual thing? You can basically drag and drop blocks, put blocks on a screen, and those blocks interact with the web. Because all we're doing, y'all, this is what I learned. This is why I said WordPress wasn't going to work. All we're doing is passing data from one place or one machine to another, just data bits. If you're on Facebook, that means when you, on your phone, a device, uploads an image, you had an upload form, you uploaded it there, and boom, it showed up on their site. You just touch from your machine to their machine and put it up there. I'm streaming to you from my machine to YouTube's machine, and it gives it to all of you. It's the same ideal. But now, these data bits, what is an application? An application is an action happening. So let's say the action is you want to have a page, and on that page, you want to have a form. And on that form, you're taking an email address, and you want that email address to, one, verify themselves, and two, store inside the database. That way you can write them whenever you want. That's a typical for a mailing list. That's a simple mailing list. So could I not automate the feature of taking information from a form and then mailing it out someplace through this right here? Yes, it's called SendGrid.net. I can connect it to Webflow that I have ToxicHustle on, and when I put a form on there and I hit submit, I can now put a person into an automated system that can manage my relationships with them. And this system hooks into, hold on, I gotta get away. This system, Coda.io. So now this system, which has my project management, which I'm gonna show y'all in a minute. I have some things that's getting ready to come out as far as for ToxicHustle Pro. But this system of storing your data, I show you all of this to show you that you can be your own Nielsen ratings. You can turn this into an accounting software by grabbing your data and storing the data that comes from Stripe or PayPal directly to this, so you can have your accounting right here. You can then use this data to be able to feed it to another machine to handle your taxes. You can create a valid digital business. And what we have to do is look at this as a digital business, which is, hey, hello, it's our radio station has digitized. You have YouTube Music. You have Spotify. These are the two largest places, next to Apple, of course, to get your royalties. Now, Apple, as you can see on my list, iTunes gives me meh. Like, look at the sliver that I get from iTunes. A sliver. Here's another one. Sliver. Here's another one. You can't even see that. Why am I going to worry about what's going on in Apple? There's no reason. So AI, whether it's going to be doing art for us, we're going to have to, you can use that and leverage that to create landscapes, to create visuals, to basically soundtrack your music. Then tell everybody it's AI generated. Use that in your keywords. AI generated art and music. Put your artist name in there as your production name. Put a link pointing to your website if somebody wants to buy it, so they can put it to, like, instead of trying to get rappers like me on your music, get people that are making videos to use your music. You're still getting the royalty. Like, that's it. We make a simple thing now complicated because they love that. They love trying to shuffle shit around. Hocus pocus. Well, no. You can just go make your royalties. And the reason why I want y'all to start thinking heavily on this, because the automation of everything is coming. Let me see if they're even using that as a keyword yet, because I think that's going to be huge in a bit, because my I'm already feeling that. Hold on. Give me a second. Let me close out some windows. I want to get some more power to go through some other stuff. Give me a second. Okay, here we go. I'll use one of these. Boom. The automation of everything. Heh. Look at the look. Linda, listen, Linda, listen. Listen, Linda. I don't even try. This is from 2019, the automation of everything era. iOS Pressbooks. So somebody on Apple made a book about that. Automation of everything, reimagining futures. Automation of everything. IT's role in the automation of everything. And literally, this software, N8N, hold on, which I think I closed out of. Let me close this stats. Here we go. N8N integrates with everything. If we just go to integrations, like, it integrates with everything. And I'm not going to just click forever because this thing is crazy whack with that now. But you can automate a lot of stuff. And all of this can be on a machine in the cloud for you. They have packages for that, right? So you can get cloud pricing, about $50, which you get a limited amount of workflows. What I did was I put mine on an Amazon web server for about that price. Now I have unlimited workflows because it's on my own server. One of the things I will put out is the setup on how you set this up on your own server. That's one of the things that is going to be coming with ToxicHustle Pro. That if you need to automate your own systems, part of that's going to be automating your systems and being able to set up your own system to automate. This means you'd be able to work with any client in automating their stuff. You see where I'm going with this, y'all? Service. Besides your music, you're still going to have a service. And people are going to automate these services. This is a business now. Just like WordPress was a business for me, I got a job working for Canon USA in their the large format printer division, basically the printer division, not the camera division, because they were like doing all, like, when you get a poster made and shipped to you and it's printed and put in one of those, like, you get one of those 3D prints or whatever, it's typically on printers by like Canon and Xerox and all that. Right? They're called large format. Large format. Right? It looks like these if I go into images. Here you go. See? So when you're getting these posters, this is all it is. It's a big ass robot spitting out paper. And we're spending 30, 40, $50 on it. It's not even the ink. Like, they're making decent margins. So when I began to understand that this was how we're going to be, like where the future was lying and going to, where we're heading, was that I believed everything was going to get printed and manufactured by machines. Our clothes will be manufactured by machines here, and they'll say made in the USA. It doesn't mean a human made it. It just needed to be made on this shore. Y'all, these new laws that they're passing are for the chips to be made here, which will be made by machines. Because now they can just, and Intel is using RISC chips. Like, look, I started formulating all of this shit while I was on vacation. 2 hours ago, Intel confirms the 14th generation Meteor Lake as virtual processing chip. Integrated RISC console. Everybody's going to be using RISC chips because it's open source and they can print them. Printed. 3D printed CPUs. Might not be in there. It might not be the right terminology. Printed CPU allows for more flexible application. 3D printing, no, that's not the same thing. It might not be 3D printing. I might be using the wrong idea. Manufacturing. Gotta try to get the right keywords. Robot CPU board, integrated circuits. No. Let's go into the news. Robot impact. Semiconductor. Clean room robot market. Blah blah blah. The first 5 million Chips Act. That's what a part of this Chips Act is the manufacturing of our circuitry here. There's a process to be able to speed up the manufacturing, and that's what's coming here. I just can't find it right now. I will put it in another video. All right, so back to the automation of everything. The goal is, right, as they build machines, I don't worry about the machine. Like, I had a desktop computer with like 8 gigabytes of RAM, and I was using that as a studio back with Cakewalk, right? Then 16 gigabytes of RAM, I'm using Sonar, and I'm using Reason, and I'm using maybe even Ableton, right? And then even back then, even some FL Studio. So I got 16, and then I have Photoshop, and I'm doing my graphics. Then I'm starting to work on computer stuff. So even then, I'm doing like 32 gigabytes. So like 16, I can still get like some development work done. Now we're offloading all of this shit to the cloud because your data needs to exist not on one machine, it needs to go to multiple damn machines now. What is your data? With this software right here, I can be anywhere I need to be. If I need to be on, or if I need to grab Spotify data, bang. If I need to control Spotify, bang. APIs. This thing can interact with any API on the planet. APIs are the next technology that nobody's really focused on. Why? Every single company on the planet will have an API to interact with for you to get data from. If I need to mail, bang, SendGrid. If I need to send a text message, I got Twilio. If I got another one. If I want to send a notification to a phone, I can use Amazon notification system. APIs run the world. Not a man, not a woman, not an it, not a thing else runs the world. APIs run the world. All of Google here, the largest search engine in the world. And what else? All these things here, Google Docs, Google Sheets. You can use Google Sheets as a database. It's a pain in the ass doing that. That's why I'm doing the way I'm doing it using Coda. Right? If you had to work for a company and they're using Monday.com, you can automate and get extra interactions for your client and save them money than them spending it on Monday.com. You can offer technical services. I'm giving you a skill. Hell, why am I doing this? Because I need more of y'all to think like this. I can't be the only one automating shit on this damn thing. Do you know how many clients are about to hit when they see Toxic Hustle doesn't have any spam because, oh, you know, I can go on YouTube and write an automation script to clean it out for my fucking self. Excuse my language. Because again, YouTube has APIs. This might not do everything I want, but I could still go into the API myself and figure out how to scrape that information and pull it down into OpenAI and have it read it. This is an API too. It's called Open API. You know, God Elon sponsored this. I told you, I keep an eye on him. If I were you, I would definitely keep an eye on him. This right here got everybody shook. Remember Dolly? I'm right on the, like, oh, who got it? Who got it first? One of y'all got it first. I'm sorry. Let me go in here. One of y'all got it over me. I'm not mad at you. I'm just a bit jealous. Game. Game Ray got into Dolly before me. I'm happy for you, bruh. Bruh, I'm happy. I support you, but I'm type salty. I'm type salty that I didn't get it first. And I'm not in there. For those of you that know what I'm talking about Dolly, and Dolly is doing this right now. Oh, damn it. I made it into a site. Hold on. Dolly is doing this out on these streets. Making all types of crazy stuff right now. This is all open AI. So can you see what's about to happen when you're making CD covers without trying to make CD covers? Like if the goal, like how do you scale up service for your clients? How can I scale up creating CD covers for people, y'all? Hmm? Do I have to spend 8 hours cutting somebody out of Photoshop, piecing this whole scene together? I think by now, if you've been watching the video, if you've kind of kept into the things that I've been telling y'all, I'm using it already. I can now use this for any music I do, period. And I generated this in not even 20 minutes. What's going to happen when I'm on this side generating this level of quality? Because Midjourney got a long way to go before it gets to this level. And as I told you, OpenAI, I already got access. And it's very smart. So now what do they want me to do over here? What they want me to do is to create services with this. Offer things through services. Part of what Toxic Hustle is going to have is me hooking together things so that you can have things written for you. You can take phrases, put them in there, and it can write other things for you. And start spitting out different ideas. I'm going to use N8N to control all of that ish. I don't have to write code. Why? I just need to interact with APIs. And that is via HTTP request. This, everyone, family and tribe, this right here is what I had to learn for the last 2 years because I didn't really understand it. Is how do you interact with the entire web? This is how you interact with the entire web. And when you learn how to use APIs and learn how to do an HTTP request, you can then sign up and look up any company and see if they have an API. So let's say N8N. Let's go back, right? I'm going to show you how we do this. Let's see. Do they have any way for me to work with TikTok? No. So I can't do anything with TikTok. Does TikTok have an API? Yes. API for business. Okay, there's an API and an API for business. Campaign management, business center and accounts. Data insight means I can get my data out of TikTok. So I just need to figure out how to piece together all this to pull the data down. Part of what I'm going to be showing y'all is that. I'm going to start build like as I build modules into Toxic Hustle, as I start adding these features into the site, doing things like, hey, how do we manage music on a channel? It doesn't have to be you get the like. I'm not trying to market anybody on Toxic Hustle. Toxic Hustle is a research platform. It's hey, Toxic Hustle's a name, just like your artist name is a name, and just like Tragic is a name. And all I have to do is open up a robot on N8N that manages Tragic's projects, right? This entity called Tragic is an LLC. And this LLC, or Toxic Hustle, excuse me, this entity called Toxic Hustle is an LLC, and this LLC has multiple social domains, and those social domains are managed by a system that interacts with the APIs that's managed by the system. And I can pull data down, like what I showed you with CD Baby, and get that data. They don't have an API yet. I've been writing them, trying to get one. And as soon as they do, they probably will do it as a service, not to pay extra for it, but whatever. But if they don't do that, that'll be great. And I will be able to pull my data in real time and then have serviceable data for how we're handling market segments. No different than how you can do it yourself. Why do you need a label if this is how you're getting this is your own Nielsen ratings? This is Toxic Hustle. Yes, it's my music, Tragic, that is currently being promoted through CD Baby in all these freaking locations. And the majority of my cash flow year to date is from 1, YouTube, 2, YouTube, 3, YouTube. Then it's Spotify. So why am I going to focus on anything but YouTube? And the biggest chunk of where the money, this is about money, not about views. Views are great. Yay, views. But this is money. How much money came in? And it ain't much because I'm not marketing yet. I haven't even put the hustle out. I'm getting prepared for how do I crank out content at scale to maximize my efficiency getting my music into things. Because all I need is utility now. I ain't even got to beg a rapper to get on shit. Are you kidding me? Like, I'm a rapper, y'all. So any rappers out there, don't get mad. Nigga, I rhyme too. But I gotta be disrespectful to my, as an MC, I gotta be disrespectful to the producer and say, well, shit, if I can go buy a beat and I can put it on CD Baby, my nigga, I don't need you. And then me being a producer, I can be disrespectful to the MC and say, my nigga, I never needed you anyway. Hell, I can put this on a commercial for a car and I'm gonna still make bank. What? You see? But both of us get to eat now. Both of us get to effing eat now, y'all. If your goal from a quote unquote label, a label's only going to get you what? To the radio station to get what? Ears. And you have to do a music video to do what? Get eyes. And at the end of the day, you only have to really get utility. Your eyes and ears are on the biggest freaking screen on the planet. It's the one everybody holds in their hand. I went on vacation and all I saw was eyes looking down. I got on a plane. All I saw were eyes looking down. I was sitting at dinner looking to my left, my phone in my pocket. And I watched people walk by the window with eyes looking down. I was in a whole nother country. All the eyes were looking down. You can get paid for your royalties through CD Baby on Facebook. That includes Instagram, but that's not where the majority of the money is. I follow the money, especially if we're dealing with something called a recession. Well, then I want my money easy, bruh. And I want it to be somebody that's actually profitable doing that. Well, the largest company on the planet is Hume. Isn't it Google? So if people are still willing to pay $11.99 to not watch an effing ad on YouTube, because YouTube is the largest learning station on the planet, where do you think I get my news from? I don't get it from TV. I get it from YouTube. I don't even like TV no more unless anime on. And then I'm only watching freaking Funimation because Crunchyroll still ain't got English for me on some of the things I like. Even though it's all owned by Sony, who's got BeatStars in their pocket. No disrespect to BeatStars. Hey, that's another way you can get through. But they also have their way of getting your royalties. I'm just telling you, there's going to be marketplaces for everything. And us as content creators, as the musicians, y'all are sitting there creating symphonies. Y'all are taking music and flipping it and doing new things. Well, guess what? We got to do that with visuals as well. And you know what Premiere looks like? Hold on. I'm going to show you something. Y'all, Premiere ain't nothing more than Pro Tools, i.e. Studio One, with pictures. Cut and paste, cut and paste, cut and paste. I can chop whatever I want. I create markers on the beat, and then I just chop to the markers. Mad simple. And that's why I'm getting ready to, that's before automation shit. And then I can take a few scenes from like AI. For those of you that don't know, Mid-Journey, the link is in the description, excuse me, not description. The link is in the Discord, Musical Geniuses. Good shout out to MG the Future. But in the Musical Geniuses, I put a link to Midjourney. Just go back to July 25th, last week. And right there is a link to get into Midjourney. You only get X amount of renders right now, and it does cost some money. But again, if you're treating this like a business, you can always write it off in your taxes. That's what I'm doing. I'm gonna write off this whole thing next year because it's I'm using it for business. How? To earn royalties. How is Toxic Hustle making money? We're generating royalty revenue using me piggybacking off of Tragic. And Tragic is the research, I'm the research paper to how you get royalties without effing label. That you don't need these suckers no more doing their weirdo-ish. Stop trying to do this hocus-pocus-ish and get back to basics of making music. Everybody wants to go play with these damn weirdos. These costume party, I want to have masks on-ish all the damn time. Y'all, we ain't got no time for that. We broke. We hungry out in these streets. Our parents ain't got no pension, and so they don't understand that there's no pension. They don't understand that the Social Security might wash out. And if they're living on that, it's not even keeping up with inflation, and they only raise it by 8%, and ain't we at already past what? And if they're gonna change that again, we're at 9% now, and they only said they're gonna bump it next year to 8%, so they're already 1% down. Are you shitting me? So how are you gonna make money? Like, look, as they're like, look, y'all need to start doing these searches. Lay offs. Go to news, right? Go to tools, check the past week, and then just look. Okay? That's all you got to do. Just look. 30,000 tech employees lost their jobs. Okay, that was last week's news. In the last week. And they're saying there's not a damn problem. I'm telling you, you've got to figure out how to make money in these streets. Services. You got to start thinking not just music services, but utility. If you're earning royalties directly in CD Baby, right? If you're getting your royalties through CD Baby, and again, I don't work for the company. I am not going to be kicked the hell off. Where's my damn screen? Damn you. Here. Hold on. I'm all over the place. Let me find my damn CD Baby screen. Open AI. Boom, boom, boom. I hope I didn't close it out. I hope I didn't close you out, mother sucker. I must have. You know what? I did. I had to have. That's all right. I'm going to put it right back here. Hold on. I got it right here. We're going to go back to CD Baby Data. Don't know why I lost it, but boom. So if you're ready, all you have to do right here, this is the most amount of money. Look at all the other chunks that I showed you. Spotify. There's two versions of YouTube. There's the content management part and the content management part, and there's the YouTube music, right? So the music app side. This right here, the largest chunk, the largest piece of the royalties, the actual money, the money that's coming in, isn't from Spotify. It's from this, the content ID from YouTube. Now, if anybody ain't giving you this shit right here, and you got to pay extra for this shit right here, my nigga, this shit shit, my nigga, this here, if you've got to pay for this here, my nigga, then you are losing money. And I ain't messing with nobody that's keeping me away from my cash. Pay one time, be done. I didn't ask for this. By the time I was doing this, there was only 3 things I was promised. I was promised Amazon was going to make me some money. I was promised Google was going to make me some money. And I was promised that I was going to get on Apple. That was all I was promised. And I got like 5 other things that came with it. As this company grew, I got new things. I get paid in TikTok, but TikTok don't give me no damn royalties. So I don't care about where the money can be in the future. Y'all will show up on my year to date. And then I'll break this down and get quarterly. And what I'm going to do is part of Toxic Hustle Pro is me keeping this up for y'all on a weekly basis. And y'all getting access to this so that you can see where money is actually coming in for your music, as far as where we as a company doing all the research we're doing, trying to get this out here. Because at the end of the day, this is brand new. Like for me, like I'm just going to be straight with you. I've been doing this for a while, but I didn't realize till I got Coda.io and actually put the data in, what I was losing. Like, I didn't realize where I was keeping money off the table. And when I saw that, wait, all I gotta do now is get utility out of my music and I earn royalties. So anything, this content ID means it's a watermark. It is it's the copyright mark. And it's not that they're going to anybody that's using it is going to get like a copyright strike on them. No. Anytime any advertising plays, you're going to get paid from the channel. It'd be exposure. And I showed y'all the math in the other video. That can be very, very lucrative. So the act is take your music and put it to something dope outside of yourself. If whatever it is you like. If you like real estate videos, put it to real estate videos. If you're into the economy-ish like I am, you don't think I'm going to be chopping together some of the dopest people that are talking about like things that are going on? Piece those things together and highlight them into and then post it on Toxic Hustle, and now I'm getting utility. Toxic Hustle is R&D, y'all. I'm going to keep saying this over and over. I don't know what Toxic Hustle is going to be. I didn't know it last year, and I didn't know it the year before last. Why? Because when my mother came up with Alzheimer's, my life changed. Everything I thought I knew, I didn't know crap anymore because now I became a nurse. I lost every client I had because I didn't have time to be a nurse for 18 hours and still try to get work done for a client. In that time, the Most High had showed me a weakness. He showed me that I still had to work for money and that I wasn't getting any real utility out of my stuff. And through that time that I didn't, when I just have to sit there with my mom because she thought she was a nurse still. And she's looking for her patient every single day. And while I'm trying to do a conference call, I have to chase after my mom because she's looking for a patient. And even if I tell her, hey, mom, there's no patient, you don't have a patient, you don't have anybody that you're working for a patient, all right? So here's some snacks, chill out. I'm on the phone right now. 5 minutes later, she's back looking for a patient. There's nothing I could do. There's not one thing I could say. There's nothing. Whether or not I shed tears and bawled my eyes out in front of her because I'm just broken, which is the name of my next album. Or the fact that I feel like I'm letting my future wife down because I really can't do business and make money. I'm trying to pad out and figure out my mother didn't prepare for this. She didn't have her life insurance in place. She didn't have an insurance. She didn't even take a trust out. Things that she knew we needed to do, none of that was done. And y'all, I took that now seriously. That's why I incorporated everything. Because I needed to put in paper everything. I needed my businesses locked down because my wife, if we decide to have a seed in this world, which we don't know, I want to make sure that there is at least some way for them to earn for the long term. And if a business is finding a way to make money off my music and it's like a one purchase thing and you're going to keep figuring out how to do that, I'm with it. Let's go. That's what we have to do. And I don't think people take it seriously until you're in a situation like my mom didn't think about that. She did not think about, hey, she said, oh, you know, the biggest thing was I'm just going to buy, like my mother's West Indian. So she'd be like, look. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to, when I get older, I'm going to just wheel myself. You know, I'm going to get the wheelchair ramp and I'm going to reel up myself. And that's all I need. Okay. And then, or I get the nurse and the nurse will wheel me. All right. Do you know what I found out? I found out a nurse is $24 an hour in the middle of COVID. $24 a effing hour. And I could only get her to be here for 3 hours because look at that's $75 a day. I could only do that 3 days a week. Then you multiply that 4 weeks a month. Do you see you see how that could get real expensive? And I'm only getting 3 hours. We don't think about that shit. And as black men, nobody prepared us for this ish. We weren't nurtured. I know half of my homeboys didn't even, their mom was out doing what they had to do, work, especially West Indian. My mom worked and I love her. She busted her ass. Good. I respect it. I learned that I have to work for what I need to survive. But I also learned when I was in school, I was like, how did Christopher Columbus discover some ish that was already here? Why? Because my mother bought a bunch of encyclopedias and she stuck it in the house, and I only had that to do. Because if you're in New York, you have the floor, and the floor creaks. And if you have a neighbor up underneath you that don't like noise and is like psycho, and every single move you make, they're gonna act up on you. Well, now the only thing you can do is sit quiet. And I went through A, Z, 1, Z through 0. Was a 0 to 1. So that goes 9, all of that's encapsulated. And then I'm in school acting a fool because now I think I know it all because I've gone through those encyclopedias multiple effing times, because what else do I have to do? There's no internet in the 80s for me. Early 80s. That's all I had. Summertime. That's all I had. Books. And now I'm a smartass because you get me in a library and I'm in the history department breaking down everything you just told me. And I'm coming back to class the next day ready. Like I set an agenda. I thought that school was where we're supposed to have intelligent conversation. Because you're supposed to be teaching me something, right? But what if what you're teaching me is a lie? And I'm breaking it well, now I'm going to get booted out of class. I'm the person that's causing disruptions. I'm not different now. When I looked at the music labels and the industry, I said, yo, why I gotta do all this weirdo-ish? And to make music, to earn royalties. Like, yes, I can sell CDs. Okay, that's cool. Or I can sell a subscription monthly. I like that better. Don't get me wrong, I like selling, but it's a CD's a product. And a product is cool, but a product has a shelf life. And then I got to keep doing a new product and a new product and a new product. And I have to do that forever. That's whack. That's not scalable. But if I have a subscription and that subscription is based off of information and that information is easy for me to spit out or at least present, and you can find value in it, then cool. How do I prove that there's value? I get these numbers transparently in your face. Until these are generating $2,500 a month for me. Because that's my first goal, is to now get these numbers to $2,500 a month. Then my next goal, $5,000 a month. That's $60,000 a year. I think I'll be okay past inflation with that. And that's not including any services I do, i.e. CD covers. i.e. t-shirts. That now I don't need to sell a lot of those. I can sell a few of those. And it's all automatable through APIs. Are you shitting me? Y'all, what I'm teaching is going to be how I'm just going to survive through digital services and products that you can recreate for your effing selves and figure out your own business models, because this is just a way. It's not the only way. And once one door opens, that door doesn't stay open for a lot of people. So, but this model means you can mold it into your own audience base and find your own niches and get into them. My niche is venture capital. I've been working in it for so long. I look at assets. I've worked with people that are buying or paying for companies, millions of dollars for companies. Like, I've done the marketing for them on a private level, and I'm going to go back to that. Easy money. Especially since I'm targeting businesses who are still getting funding. There's always money being made and shuffled someplace. The oligarchy, like you just saw, I sent the article out talking about the fact that, again, who was it? Nancy Pelosi in the news, right? Sells off 5 million worth of Nvidia stock. Are you serious? Dude. This is redunculous right now. This makes no sense. And they're not going to get in trouble for it. What is he saying? I bought low. I'll buy the rumor, sell the news. The news came out. The chip thing's going to get promoted, passed. He's selling it. He made some money. He cashed out. He's done. Buy the rumor, sell the news. But he had inside information. I don't care what nobody feels about it. I know YouTube's going to smack this thing down so nobody can see this damn video. I don't care. I've got to let y'all know, like, look, this game is rigged. And what we have to do is concentrate on the thing that needs to be concentrated on. It's not simple. It's not hard. It's real mad simple. You have to concentrate on your ability to earn. Your first directive is to do so. Right? You got to do your toils, your labor to bear fruit. Then you can be fruitful and multiply. But you're going to have to toil hard and figure out this landscape. And I'm going to keep shuffling you to different lands, and you're going to have to figure that out. Every new land you go into is going to be a different way you're going to have to maneuver. You're just going to have to figure it out because the landscape will change, and I'll keep moving you around because you can't be stagnant. That's our nomadic thought process. So we have to look at commerce the same exact way. Hold on, I need a drink of water. I'm going to give a long one today. Oh, where's my phone? How are we doing? Let me look and see. Oh, looks like I ain't got nothing. Yep, we're good. All right. So, ToxicHustle, the project pipeline. All right, let's get into that. Let's. So check this out. Let's go into ToxicHustle projects and the project tracker. All right, so we got a few projects that are going down. This is what's going to be inside ToxicHustle. I'm working ToxicHustle as, again, this is not me creating a website for people. I've begun to understand that. I've begun to start really working on ToxicHustle is basically a system that allows projects to get done, as well as when those projects are done, is now the database or repository where all the assets are kept for those projects to then be posted, and we're able to keep the data, pull the data down, and see through this landscape where things are doing well, how we're making money, how much money we're making, whether it be in selling products, selling services, all that data is on a system, and we're going to begin to collect that data. So part of it is just showing how do you collect data for a business, right? And you can now use this for any business out there. It's not just the fact that what ToxicHustle does is the same thing that any company can do. How we set up the server to be able to set up our automation. Now that we have an automation system, what can that automation system do to speed up processes or reduce costs for yourself and or clients? And then you split the difference with the clients and charging a subscription for a service. So let's say I'm creating my a YouTube channel comment robot. So now if there's a spam that I've tracked on one account and the AI reads it, and when it finds it again, it immediately removes it through sending a trigger or an API call to the automation system of N8N and having it do that process. Now I can watch for those same kind of posts across multiple social platforms because their robots are sending out spam. So my robots need to see that spam and remove it. But you see, you now need to do that on a client by client basis. Now they could pay for some big service and pay thousands of dollars. My goal is, hey, if I have a system that I can do it for myself, and then I should be able to do it for my clients and charge. Management. See, that's what you can become. Service managers. As far as when it comes to social media management, because the gross domestic product, y'all, is a bunch of people talking heads. Everybody's on social media trying to earn money from eyeballs and ears. It's attention. Everybody's trying to day trade attention. That's that Gary Vaynerchuk thing. So some of the projects we have is, of course, we're going to launch Toxic Hustle Pro. What we're doing is the research on what does it take to get to the stage where we're able to take video, put it on a platform in an automated way, like go through the process of making it in our system here and getting it done, who was assigned to those tasks and those projects, and now I can scale. It's all going to be me, of course. So you can see I have all me trapped on these projects and what's in projects and what's getting done. And then from here, I take all of this information and I can now release this data as information that gets cast to the website. So, you know what? Hold on one second. I have got to take my dogs out before this rain goes. Give me one moment, y'all. I'm going to play some music for a second. I will be right back. Where is it? Here we go. I like this song. I'll be right back.
Why I feel how I feel while I die inside. Still I try, but I can't shed more tears, 'cause I feel like my wells run dry. What else can I say? What else can I do? I thought tomorrow wasn't promising, it might be true. While I'm drinking through this damn pain, no champagne, 'cause I ain't here to celebrate. Nah, I just bleed within. Vodka got me seeing demons, then I turned to gin, feeling crucified. Or maybe it's my pride. Is it the reason I turn to the bottle to try to hide? And nothing ever changes. At first you make a friend, and you watch them turn to strangers. I guess we're all living in our own box. 3 hots and 1 cot until we drop. I guess it's just the way of the world that keeps spinning. 9th inning, but my inner demon steady winning. It's all a game, but it's one that I don't wanna lose. With free will, I got a choice, but do I get to choose? I'm asking you. Hoping I can, but I can't understand. No, I don't know why. Why I feel how I feel while I die inside. Still I try, but I can't shed more tears, 'cause I feel like my wells run dry. Hoping I can, but I can't understand. No, I don't know why. Why I feel how I feel while I die inside. Still I try, but I can't shed more tears, 'cause I feel like my wells run dry. What else can I say? What else can I do? They said someone would come to save me, and that must be you. Are you a myth or a dream? Said that I am you, but tell me what's that supposed to mean? Am I just a part of the whole? Are you part of my soul? Are you the path that I take, or just the goal? No response, so I drink pain to find an answer. Sitting here smoking up dreams until it's cancer. I know this life I'm wasting. I feel the need to work, 'cause it's hard to be patient. 'Cause if I stand still, then I reminisce.
Sacrificing love just to use my gift. Does the end justify the means? Is this all a dream? Like Biggie said, that we get problems when we make some green. It shouldn't have to be this way, so I guess I'll just deal with the cards you play. Hoping I can, but I can't understand. No, I don't know why.
All right. Sorry about that. Wanted to make sure I take the dogs out, because that way I can keep going. All right. So pipeline. Let me minimize this and minimize this. So right now we've got, I'm working on a single that's going to be part of a bunch of tracks that actually I'm not even doing a single now. I'm doing multiple songs already. I got to add them to this. But what I'm doing is getting a bunch of songs, beats ready, rolled out. Those are going to be pressed to ToxicHustle's instrumental division. And then I'm going to put those out. And then some of those are going to end up being songs that are on my Broken album. But now what I'll have is my royalties up front as far as the music going out, that content now getting utility, and I can start building out the album and it's generating money before I even start the album. So what I'm going to do is use my instrumentals to start generating cash flow for my album. So the liquidity that comes in from me getting these YouTube royalties will trickle into the recording budget / the budget necessary for me to even do this. Right? So this is a different way of looking at the business. It's a different way of looking at how to be in business. Now, again, this is going to take some time. And what I'll do is, it's not going to be on ToxicHustle. The blessing is, what I'll show is the channels that we're currently working on will be a part of, again, ToxicHustle Pro. And I'll be talking deeper into the motivation, and I'll also talk about it here. I'll still be talking about it in Toxic Thoughts, but I'm not going to get in depth with it, because for the most part, Toxic Thoughts is me taking news and I'm looking through my lens and showing you the same news article, and this is just my lens on it. And I'm looking at it from a perspective of, how do I invest long term? Like, where am I going to put my attention? Like, investments in buying somebody else's company, I don't even trust you to make money. See what I'm saying? Like, when you're putting money, you're giving somebody money for a stock. What you're saying is, I trust you to be able to make that money. I'm trusting you in 5 years, you're going to do this. I'm trusting that what you're telling me, you're going to be able to accomplish. That means you should be knowing the landscape to be able to give me those numbers. But I'm going to set an expectation, price to earnings and everything else. I'm going to set an expectation. This is what I expect to see based off of what you're kind of telling me, or what you've told me in the past of what your earnings was, and what I'm going to want as a percentage for holding that stock and taking that risk with my money in your asset. So I'm betting on a company, on their ability to generate income. Now, I can put that money with them and give them that cash, or as a businessman, I can take that money, I can put that in myself, and I can show and prove. This is how you create residuals. From those residuals, you need utility. What you can do is partner with other content providers, and you can provide an asset that's generating itself. Hold on one second. Let me make sure. Hold on one second, y'all. All right. So, what is the model? What is the model for your earnings? Right? For your business. For us, what we're doing is focusing on, how do we generate utility? How do you generate creating a way to scale your business? Because again, you need to scale visibility tens of thousands to earn those residuals. Like, it's not, you can't, like, I can come up with a bunch of numbers and say, this is what you need to do. But then you have to come up with ingenious ways to do that in a way that can make sense, right? So you're looking at entertainment. What do people care about? Or what do you like? Again, if I buy something, or if I'm buying a stock, if I buy a stock, I buy the stock based off what I actually like. Like, if I liked Apple products, I would buy Apple stock. I like Google because it runs Android. And I like that. And I see how much cash flow is coming in from its premium subscriptions and how many eyeballs it has with the amount of views it gets monthly. Right? So when you do that, when you look at those numbers, all of a sudden you're making a business decision that says, hey, I have a business that if I get an eyeball, I get paid. If that eyeball stays at a certain amount of time with my music, I get paid. Like just now, I had to step away, take my dogs out, make sure they're good to go. I played some music. If y'all listen to my jam and you dug it, cool. I just got paid. That's it. Like, all I'm showing y'all is the simplicity of the business model. But the hard part is now getting the work done. How do you optimize that? The hows, right? It's not enough to just have hopium. You gotta have the straight all the way through. Like, hey, if you had to sell weight on the street, the result is you got X amount of money, you had to keep X, and then you had to make sure that you could recoup. Same damn business model. Like, the hustle ain't changed. Like, we don't even look at it like a slang. I sling that music. Yeah, I talk proper as a mug. That's cool. I come from the Caribbean where I have to talk real proper, like, That's just what I was taught. But I also got that New York thing because, I'm mob deep. As far as that's the era I come from. There's a war going on outside. No one is safe, dude. That was my street anthem. I had my damn CD player on my CD player in my backpack. Bumping the hell out of that. Wearing my Marine Army camouflage jacket. On the stair steps with my homies. When I came back from the military, I had nothing except becoming a security guard. And that's where I learned to build computers, by reading a book. I was like, oh, I can build my own computer? Oh, I just piece the pieces together? Oh, okay. I need a video card. I need a motherboard. I need a memory chip. I need the CPU. I need a hard drive. I need a power adapter. I need a monitor so I can see. I need an audio card. Bang. I just told you all the pieces that it takes to build out a damn computer. And that computer, you just need the software, the operating system, Windows, for me, because it was just easy to just set up. Like, I'm not trying to have shit complicated, especially if I'm getting a lower price by buying my parts cheap. I could go on this thing called eBay and just buy parts cheap. One man's trash is another man's treasure. I just waited for when prices would be low, low, low. Like, I wasn't buying no electronics the last few years. I was like, nah, that's too high. They need to cut it. So I waited. I sat back, relaxed, and came back on stacks. I was like, okay, you know what? I want to make music, but it's not ready right now, because even if I make music, I'm still going to have to sell that ish. And nobody, like, when I went through the last recession in Macon and / Statesboro, and then coming back to New York, what I realized was, if nobody had the disposable income for Second Life and you could buy shit for $1, a lot of ish for $1, if nobody would put $1 in Second Life, I couldn't understand. I was like, well, how are they going to do anything else? What I forgot was you needed a bandwidth account. You needed an internet service provider. You needed some broadband. You couldn't use dial-up for that. You needed a broadband. And if it's $100 a month or $99 a month and you can't, you can barely eat, you're going to get rid of that. That's the lesson I learned from the last recession. You're welcome. Let's get Sephardic. Let's really think this through. Think about it. With all the economic stuff I've shown you, ask yourself where you're on. If another 40% of the job market disappears, what skill set do you have to survive? In 2015, I had to tell my fiance, babe, you know what? I'm having a crisis of occupation. Not even a crisis of faith, but a crisis of occupation, because I don't think anybody's going to need a web developer anymore. I think they could go to Fiverr and get one real cheap, and I'd have to compete with $5 websites. We can't eat off that. I can't scale that. I'd have to get to pay $5,000 a month. I'd have to do at $5 1,000 websites. I can't scale that. Then what do? How do you survive? When everybody's online and it's a rush to the bottom, because as everybody gets laid off, they're going to first try to do it on their own, and then next they're going to try to use these other websites, freelancer.com. Right? So you got Fiverr. And this is where you can also sell services, y'all. So again, you'll just have to be specific of what you want to do and capitalize that into your time matrix. Right? So you got Fiverr. You've got freelancer.com. Hold on. Freelancer.com. You've got Upwork. Where you can, again, charge for services. This is all the places where you can upload and offload your skill set. That's what people refuse to do. Is when the times get hard. Like when my times got hard, I went on Upwork and Freelancer and all that stuff and tried to get jobs. Sometimes it worked for a little bit. I mean, I got a little bit of cash flow. But I realized real fast I needed to either have something that I could sell that was automatable, and then I can sell that product. So now, let's say I create a course, and from that course, I launch a subscription. And from that subscription, I can break off smaller bits of it and sell it as a service on a platform in an automated way and facilitate that in an automated way. If they had the APIs for that, I could then facilitate that. Like, I'm going to show y'all something. Audio Jungle. I can earn royalties from Audio Jungle by people buying it to be put into commercials, put into titles, put into whatever I need it to be from this website. Now, if it's already uploaded to CD Baby and they use it, I'm still getting paid, y'all. You dig me? I can give my music to whomever I want. I can charge for it, or I can give it away free. They have an account in here. It's called hold on. That's it. This is it. Envato Elements. Basically, an all-you-can-eat smorgasbord of sound, video, and everything else, right? I can create an account. I can just upload my music here. Now I don't even worry about selling nothing. I can just put it here. But every single track that I put here has already been or will be uploaded to CD Baby. And now I can just put it here and I can just get royalties that way. Now I can also upload it to, say, beatstars.com. And if I wanted to have an account there, I can sell it there. And if they use it, bloop, bloop, I can put the lowest freaking price I want on there. Bloop, bloop. Utility. The goal is, and the game is, how do I get utility from my assets? Who is my distributor? CD Baby. Where can I get royalties? YouTube. All I have, and most social networks. So all I have to do is place it in as many locations that have customers. Follow the money. A lot of the stuff that I'm going to be showing in Toxic Hustle Pro is just this. This is an early shot to just seeing the overviews. This is why I said this is a sneak peek. I'm bouncing back and forth between the project pipeline and the sneak peek in my in the description notes. Because Toxic Hustle is not for like for me, it's just where all the information is stored, all like basically SOP. This is how we function in an earning or royalty earning capacity in a digital landscape. Here are all the things we're doing to do so. This is the new thing we're doing. Here's the new thing we're doing. Oh, we're over here now and doing this. But all of these tentaments are all of the modules that are necessary to expand how you can earn your royalties. Because we're not managing anybody's money but mine. We're not managing anybody else's assets but mine. And what I'm doing is I'm selling you the format to do it for yourself. Now, in the future, I can think about maybe 2024, 2025 creating a management service, but we have to prove we can generate tens of thousands of dollars. So Toxic Hustle still in R&D, but we're in earning position now. We're no longer in the research side of our division. We're in the development side now. Our product, our service of what we're releasing is the content and the information for you to earn your own money. And at this point, that's the only thing we can do. How do you get better utility for your music assets? Because you earn your freaking royalties. You own them. You don't have to give them to nobody. You don't have to go put on no costumes and do no weirdo-ish. You ain't got to ride on swole. You ain't got to have no damn bling on. You ain't got to do none of that ish because billionaires don't do that. You'd be surprised who's a billionaire. You'd be surprised how they really think. They still shop at Walmart looking for deals. They still clip coupons. Are you serious? Nobody even realizes, you read the autobiography of Warren Buffett, for years, his wife was pleading for him to change his shoes because he'll walk down the streets with holes in his shoes. I don't think you understand. It's not about how much you make. It's about how much you keep. And everybody wants to live outside their means. It's not a problem to go on a vacation and take a trip. But how did you earn that? What asset did you create to go on a vacation? Not what job did you work, because your job can't keep up with inflation. Is that not the proof point? Don't you got to keep jumping ship, jumping ship, jumping ship? Do you know what the problem, what they've set up everybody to do? All that jumping ship means you don't really hold a good, stable job. So as they flip into this value proposition, like all assets need to show that they have value over the growth cycle we just came out of. So now that we're in this value cycle, all these jump shippers aren't going to have the stability that a corporation is going to feel comfortable with. You know what? You move around too much. You stay out there moving around as these jobs decline. And as a CEO is looking for somebody stable. When I go to a job, I don't work for anybody. Like if I take a job, like I work for Jay Morrison. I did web development for him right before Rona. I did that for like 4 months. When he was launched, he was launching the whole website. And I had to be there to get that set up. I work with clients. Whoever's going to give me the money to be able to maneuver, I'll maneuver. But then I'm moving on my own now because I couldn't rely on clients no more because I realize a lot of businesses don't know how to be a business anymore. They're too busy hype, and ain't got no substance. All that hype shit means nothing if you ain't moving nothing. And I'm tired. I was tired of trying to convince people that are supposedly so much richer than me and so much smarter than me. Hey, here's how you can do a technology. Here's how we can make some money. Look at how much it costs. Like I sat there and showed people it's $100,000 to do this automation thing. And here's this little program over here called N8N. And we can upload this ish for free. This is like WordPress all over again, y'all. And I already showed y'all. I made money off of WordPress back when WordPress was WordPress. When it was like when PHP and the web was the thing. Well, the web is going away. We're data bits now. APIs are little bits of energy that move around, an SMS over here, which is a WhatsApp message over there, and another response. It's just interactions that are moving back and forth between machines, y'all. We're in a data age now. We're not in the freaking communication age anymore. We're in the data utility manipulation, the algorithmic looking at what is it? Analytics. We're in the data analysis phase where artificial intelligence is now going to give you insights to your businesses. Have you looked at an external power supply like solar generator? RTP? Yes. And that's part of what I'm going to be looking at because it's not just so much I'm talking out the side of my ass. When I told y'all, look, the first thing is shit, literally. Yes, I know YouTube algorithm. I'm sorry, YouTube gods, but I must say this word, feces or fecal matter. That's freaking energy. Everybody eats, everybody shits. And the first thing we can do is something with methane. Methane gas turns turbines. Turbines create energy that can be used for smaller devices like Raspberry Pis that are going to run the internet since they're at 8 gigabytes already. And a good, powerful computer that I was doing a whole bunch of shit started at 16 gigabytes of memory. And they're just one more update from that happening. That means you're going to have something that could power FL Studio everywhere. For the littlest bits of money. That's why the creation of music isn't important. And the energy, like what I want to do with that is glass. They're going to be doing solar glass. You got, what you call it, propellers, the 3D helix, right? Helix power supplies. Wind power. Right? Like you've got images. You've got these that can catch wind from 360. And that can turn a turbine that could generate energy. How many could I put in a field with sheep or cows? Can I work with farms to be able to generate energy from manure, right? So what I can do, and then can I then guarantee my meat is secure? Can I turn a farmer into a power company first and foremost? Yes. So yeah, all the other stuff is cool, but I want third world energy. And everybody's got cows taking shit that everybody wants to say is causing the ozone and the global warming. No, it's called the sun cycle, cold cycle. That's why the Delaware had ice on it. If you look at when Washington was crossing the Delaware, there's ice blocks. They were coming out of the cold era. We go into a warm cycle that they've shown this. You can go look it up yourself. We're in a warm cycle. Now we can get solar power. We're just going to figure out how to get it better. It's still kind of weak. But then we got wind and we got shit. Manure. Turn that into, and then we've got vegetable matter, right? We could take vegetable waste and create some type of other fuel out of that. All of our fruits, sugars, right, that turn into methane. We turn it to gas. We just got to get our biology up to be able to scale it. Meantime, between time, we're going to have these batteries. So what's the next thing? It's not about how you create energy, it's how you store it, right? So right now, lithium is mad expensive. So F lithium then. Let's go with DIUM ion battery, right? Let's go with a sodium ion battery because sodium is salt and salt is plentiful. So now you can go with a sodium ion battery. So how do you now invest in that right now? Well, who's manufacturing according to this? Who just got the largest deal with Toyota for sodium ion? That's Toyota. I know I'm spelling things wrong. The first Toyota's solid state, which means your battery is in a state of solidity. There's no moving parts, there's no fluids. It's a solid, no moving part battery, just like your SSD is solid state. So basically, your memory is just a hard formatted structure. So these solid state batteries are now going to be sodium ion driven, and the company that's manufacturing this is Panasonic. I'm just gonna go ahead and just jump to the money shot. Toyota, Panasonic, bang, there you go. Ion batteries. And if you go into, again, the news, wants to make Tesla batteries more efficient by using their bang. So now you've got Panasonic that's going to be offloading got the contracts potentially to get all these cars rolling on something that they can, like lithium is mad too expensive. They need to get it cheaper for these cars that they want for their new Green New Deal. They have to come down. So now they're going to use this now battery. So where do you buy shares in getting into Panasonic? Well, unless you're in Japan, the only way to do it in the US is the VT World Index Fund. So guess what I'm going to invest in? The VT World Index Fund. That's it. VT Index Panasonic. Bow, bow, bow. World Stock ETF. Bow, bow, bow. Bow, bow, bow. Portfolio. Bow, 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 bow. Technology. Hold on. I wanted to say me. Show me, show me. Show me, show me. Come on, y'all. For real, for real. This is what we're going to do today. I've got to find this, man. CT Index Panasonic. This is not news, right? Yeah. Panasonic. Holdings. Let me see if I can pull it up this way. Think, 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 think. Panasonic. Nope, that's not it. BT. Fine. PANA. It's not here. Fund management composition. Okay, here we go. Uh, 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 uh. Wait a minute. They got rid of their Panasonic holdings? That can't be right. Tesla, Berkshire, Facebook, Nvidia, Home Depot. 3. Verizon, Tencent. That's 3. Page 4. Thermo, Shell, Toyota, ASML Holdings. Page 5. No. Page 6. Wish you could just search. Jeez. Phillips. No. Page 7. Page 8. You know what? I'm gonna find it and put it in the chat. But I thought for show VT Vanguard. Let me see what Vanguard or hold on Panasonic ETF. There we go. You're taking too long. Ouch. Nope, that ain't it. I think this is damn page. Not this one. Panasonic US ETF. Let me try that. I think it was something dealing with the United States. Keep coming here. There we go. There we go. Vandox International Stock Index Fund. That says a 2021. So they may not have it anymore. Oh well. I know this is the website. But the thing is, that's the next thing I gotta figure out is the research into how do you get access to Panasonic, especially being in the United States? Because I think that that battery, that sodium ion battery, like looking at who's gonna have the storage of the energy, who's gonna keep that energy, how do we store whatever energy we're creating? Because I think we're gonna go through a revolution of just being able to create it. Like we're going to go through an energy revolution. It's the storage of it that we need to figure out now. Because then you can get utility out of it. You plug your house into it, right? We have to decouple from the mind state of, okay, well, I have to wait for subsidies to do dot, 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 dot. They gave out the subsidy to get the price points down. Now it's just looking at, hey, what new technology is out there? And is that something that I can put in a test shed on a piece of corporate property? And then we could start testing that and then having some place where I could then have computers that sit in this building that are mining or doing like the same way I can do stuff with Amazon Web Services. Why couldn't I, if I had my own energy, start working with these small form factor computers and building my own microservers? Like the technology is already here. Let me close all this out and get back into how we make our own money, right? Turing Pi. The Turing Pi is on version 2 now. You can use the CM4, or the CM4, if you don't know, is from Raspberry Pi. This. First do this and then show the, and then hold on, let me get a okay. Yeah, let me get an image of this. Yeah. It'll still show up. I'm sure of it. Okay, there we go. So I wanted to make sure they at least had a Raspberry Pi and its side. Okay, here we go. This. So you can see the Raspberry Pi. Let me open this in a new window or a new tab. Okay, so this is the compute module for the CM4. So this Raspberry Pi is basically this whole board. What you can do with the Turing Pi is stick 4 of those in there. So you basically got the power of this times 4. Right? And if you hook that to other things, you could now, couldn't I now build a cluster server? Because Linux runs the internet. So couldn't I create a cluster machine, and that machine gets something with like, you know, N8N on it? And then I just have a cluster of those together, and then I just run a service off that cluster. Or in the future, probably decentralize my network power with some type of decentralized system that lets me use my cluster, and I can put the server stuff on there and it talks to this blockchain like Bitcoin does, and be able to do something with these machines. Bitcoin's a great idea. Dope idea. Way too much power. When this becomes 16 gigabytes on the board, and you can stick 4 of them on the board, this is going to get mad ugly, mad fast. This is going to change how you could build machinery, how you can run organizations, how you can create services for other people. And it's going to be lower power, which of course you could write off in taxes with their Green New Deal. You know, they want to use this, so we use it with them. They're writing it off for themselves. We just have to understand what's the ramifications for the ideas that they're passing all these acts for. Since they just passed this new CHIPS Act, they want cheaper chips into these machines, that they just want to make the money off the fact that, hey, we just got these companies a whole bunch of money that's going to go into building stuff that nobody can really buy. So they're going to be able to try to subsidize that and try to lower the cost for a bit. And then hopefully somebody's going to come up with a way to make money with it. But how you make money with it is you start right now. You have to figure out how to use this smaller form factor and put stuff on these machines, and these machines make money. We're going into the age of automation. We're going into a data-driven age where AI is reading data and doing something, and can't I put this on a board to just interact with another API to do the hard work for me to get my results, so I can go back to work, marketing or doing whatever I need with that data I just sent to the AI and received from the APIs. One of the things I will be putting in the back end for Toxic Hustle is the resources. videos that I found helpful to get into the low code, no code phenomena. That is where we are. Low code, no code. We shouldn't have to keep recreating applications that all have UIs or user interfaces. We should standardize all that through whatever platform it is. And then the platform is just integrated to feed it data or receive data from it. But where you store your data, you store it yourself. You just feed their machines, not the other way around. It's just another data point. It's just another port of exit. Right? What's my point of entry? My labor, my work is my data. My data gets placed on a system that automates its feeding someplace else, whether it be me creating music and that getting submitted to my distribution and or placing it into whatever outlets, or piecing together content like videos in an automated way. That's not ready yet because we don't have access to those tools yet that can really cut up these videos and create something dope from the other inputs that I'm feeding it. And when we can start doing that, where content can be pretty much that fast, now you just concentrate on what? Your core product. Like how you create the content or the visuals for the product is going to get easier and easier because the labor to get the visuals done is not hours of a time and thousands of dollars of some skill set worker. I'm a graphic designer and I've given up. I stopped worrying about trying to do all the dope art. And now I just figure out how to use the dope art. And then I can come up with my music because I still have music in my head and I don't care what AI can do. I just want to do that for me. And now what AI can do for me or these automation systems can do for me is be my distribution outlet that I control to get my content out in a way where I don't have to do the workflow that it's a repeated workflow. When you upload a video to YouTube, it's the same freaking way every single time. And there's an automated way to do that. So why am I going to do that every single time? Like I'm going to put it in a folder. The data for everything is in a place. I click a button through my coda and it's going to cast it all out. Done. Why am I doing all if it's automatable by a checkbox, then that's what I'm going to show you to do. How you create your own systems, because my system may not be your system, but this will be the model for you to consider your own ways of building systems. I took months focusing on this. That way, you're consistently going to be able to come up with whatever comes up or gets thrown at you. It's a 3 a.m. So, but to get back to RTP's question on solar, I did see something new, RTP, and that's this. Boom, 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 boom. Solar glass. Oh, oh, oh. 2 days ago. This. Transparent solar panels can soon turn windows into energy harvesters. So, how are these systems going to be put together? Right? We know you need a construction company that already knows how to put in windows. Check. And then the only thing you'll now need to figure out is what is the wiring for those windows necessary to be able to have panels like these work inside them. Now, they'll figure that all out. Somebody's going to manufacture all that. And then your goal is how do you get it at the cheap price to be able to put it in homes and retrofit them? and you get a position of that by working with a company. Because what we can't do is try to just take the roofs. That's not enough. And is there any other things that we can do? Do they have any kind of energy harvesting siding? There is another one, right? Because if we have a house, yeah, we can put stuff on the roof and we can get energy from that. All right, cool. And now, hey, if we can get it from glass, well, that's dope too. But there's still this other surface area that gets X amount of sun. So is there any way of saying, and let's go to news, wall to wall coverage, our homes like winter coat, home siding. Mm, This might be something that's a little bit, let's see, is there any videos? Does energy efficient siding exist? Let's take tools. Let's go for the past year. Anytime past year. This way, we're not looking at old stuff and hypotheticals. Solar home siding. This company is taking on Tesla's solar roof, solar singles, solar panels, shingles, solar singles patterns. Let's go from videos back to news. Nope. And then let's look at all just to see if there's anything. Solar siding, providing metrics. So there's a company that has solar siding. Let's see what they're talking about. Solar siding. Then clean energy, blah, 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 blah. Solar siding layers. Huh. That's an interesting ideal. We'll have to see how efficient it is, not based. Ah, ha, ha, ha. That's how they're manufacturing, huh? Huh. Interesting. 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 Okay. Solar siding. Retrofits. Interesting. They're not the only one in the game doing it, huh? So it seems like solar sighting. Well, this one's more speculative because they don't really have any products that they show there that there's a physical picture of. But that doesn't mean anything because you remember that truck that they basically had a fake ass truck that wasn't working, electric truck. Vinyl siding, roof and solar. So that's going to be a thing. So it's just waiting. It's still a waiting game. But then you got vinyl siding, you got vinyl glass, right? Then there's geothermal, right? Because you still got your home. So let's say home geo geothermal. All right, let's go in the news and see if there's anything. Bringing geothermal to the home. Whisper Valley, X geothermal. Google X geothermal energy company opens in Windsor. So Google is into the energy business. Geothermal. Huh. So these are all the levels of energy consumption, whether it be geothermal or the heat. Like, how do we take all this rampant heat? We're going into a heat cycle, right? The sun cycle. So to be able to cool your home, we need to figure out how to take heat and turn that into energy, because we're going to have a substantial amount of heat coming off the sun, or a substantial amount of heat in your environment. Like, you've got humidity. We can't get anything out of that energy. That's what we have to begin to do again. Like, we have to stop waiting on somebody else to figure out the long-term problem, right? How do you take your energy costs down to zero? Like, because that's a bill, right? Your AC is a bill, and that's going to have to beat inflation, right? So then what you're going to have to do is figure out how do you complement that? How do you take that energy and get that clock rewound, so that you're no longer using their system? You create your house and you hook a system into that's already going to take energy the way it wants to take it. You just got to go through the licensing to get the work done. But then that's all cost effective. It's building our homes from the ground up, but not building them in this market. What you're doing in this market is generating your cash flow. So when all this shit crashes the hell down, you're able to buy these properties, buy these businesses, or buy the commercial land, or or residential land at reduced rates, and then be able to build equity onto those lands because they're self-sufficient. If you don't do that, who's going to do it? Are we going to wait for them to do it? They ain't doing nothing but lobbying to each other to make money amongst themselves, to be able to make sure that their families are fine. But meanwhile, between time, our families are all getting screwed. So this is just an opportunity to say, all right, well, how do you create cash flow? How do you create your income? How do you take that income and actually put it to a service, a product, something? How do you then turn that into a service? Like, I make my music, I make videos, I'm promoting Tragic and or other people, like all other YouTubers. Then from there, I'm able to build a service business where I can charge other YouTubers to market their products for them more effectively. Now I can have my royalties making money for me while I'm building out my clientele to market for them, by creating channels to be able to broadcast their content and get them and help them get more visible. Nobody's going to have a problem with you using content that way. And in fact, you'll be awarded. That's what Google will give you the revenue for. And what are you doing? You're just the rebirth of Slick. You're just promoting some hot ish that's already out there that you already like. I'll make a business channel specifically to talk about the things that are going on, like the dopest people that are talking that business ish. Because I can't do that all the time. I can't do all the music all the time. I can't make all the content all the time. But now I have access. If y'all already have CD Baby, well, then I have access to use any of your music in anything I'm doing. And now I can just promote it and you get paid. Now we can flow into a system that just gets paid. Like I said, I won't be managing it yet. That's what's going to come. But I want Tragic to be able to be the proof that that's what it can generate. And then it's just scalability. Then how do you scale it up? How do you scale it up? How do you ramp it up? Now, if you add other people to that equation, how does that affect revenue? Does that increase revenue? Or is that now subtracting and now it's competing against itself? How do we get distribution to all artists on their own weighted merits? Let me see what's up. So let me close this out all the way. Oh, there's where CD Baby was. So we can close all these. So Raspberry Pis, these small devices, can then be used as the back end to store your energy, to be able to count the storage of that, to be able to be used for other services that you can offer with automation. Like, it's how do you scale up your own little mini automation hub or your own little marketing company? Because at the end of the day, like I always told y'all, business to business is the easiest way for you to be able to get transactions. Because if somebody is saying, I've got to be able to get promotion and I have to pay, if they realize, oh shit, I'm gonna have to pay for that. Hey, what he's charging over there isn't that bad because other people have been trying to charge me way more. And you can clearly say, hey, I have a page over here. Here, you can go to this company, this company, this company, this company. This is how much they're gonna charge you. I charge this much. Boom. Submit, blah, blah. Here's how you pay. Bow. Put you in the pipeline. This is how we automate the pipeline out. Once I can get a workflow for myself and I can scale that workflow to others, now all of a sudden I have a pipeline for clientele that I can charge for services. So that's like a piece of everything that's been going on. Let me just go back into the pipeline notes just to make sure I covered everything. So audio templates are going to be part of Toxic Hustle Pro. I'm going to be doing templates to be sure that everybody can get access. Just on how fast, like, or what I'm doing as far as like my prototype template to get a songwriter to be able to write out a song in the fastest manner. It's going to be Studio One. That's just where I work. It's how I'm now able to build out songs. Like, I came back from vacation and immediately started working on a track. Like, I didn't miss a step or a beat. So I'm going to be offering how I set it up, why I set it up, what plugins I set it up with. I'll also try to set up a version that's just all Studio One presets. That way you'll still kind of get what I'm doing, the workflow kind of set up, but I'm using specific plugins that I have on my my Toxic list, which I'll also show what we've installed, what plugins we're using, and we're not gonna have like a crap load of plugins. I'm also gonna be using a lot of MG's drums, MG the Future's drums. So those are gonna be parts of like the tracks that I'm rolling out. And then this way you'll see where I got certain drums from, what packs am I buying from him, which MIDIs I'm using and how I use those MIDIs. Also getting some of the tutorials and showing clusters of things that I'm doing in songs. So as I'm doing streams and people are like, yo, how did you do that? I'll have a shortened version of that. I'll have like the clips of here's where MG, right where MG shows you how he does this. This is what I did to do all this. This is where I got it from. Right, just so it's a way to keep information in one location. Project management automations, I got to set those up. Just optimize things that I'm doing in how I assign projects in here. I'm going to be working with N8N so that it's automated on the back end. When this happens, trigger this. When this, so literally N8N is going to be controlling everything that's on this platform from the back end. So that way the back end is in control and it's the data leading the changes. When this happens, automatically do this. And now I'm not reprogramming anything. Even if I wanted to move this data to a whole nother system, now I'm not locked in anybody's automations. I've already programmed the automations and done everything. I can move that into any system now. Right? I just have to, like, how I talk to it would just have to change. But I can just take those low code ideals and bring them right back. Because all the automation parts will be on the back end. And that's even how I communicate via email and everything else. It's not a main system. It's the N8N on the back end doing all of the talking and all of the posting, right? That's what I'm setting up. And now I'll be able to manage multiple clients the same exact way. So now instead of a client paying me, oh, I'm going to pay you X amount per month to do this labor. No, you're paying X amount of a month to have access to a system that is managing certain things in an automated way for you. And I'm only charging this much because it does this and I can cover my costs like this. And so I can make X amount of profit and it not be something that is destructive, right? If I do it on Amazon or I do it on a network in the future, like let's say if it's blockchain driven, well, now all of a sudden my costs are going to be so much different. So again, these are all the things you got to look at. How are you going to build in the future? Like, I believe that everything's going to be blockchained, or at least everything's going to be decentralized. So we're going to have these decentralized networks. So where's going to be my decentralized AWS that I can put code up to run 88N and then attach an IP to that and then have a domain attached to that and then interact with it no different than I would any website. Until I can do that, it is not business. It's not business ready. It's a great idea. I don't want a subdomain. I want to use a .com. .eth ain't winning first page of Google for a client, and my client don't give a damn about nothing else but his SEO. So as long as the domain registers and it's on blockchain, and I can pass off all these savings to them, and the security could be the chain itself. Come on, man. But now I got to come up with my system that can be installed on any platform, N8N. And they want to do partnerships too, as far as being able to offload the actual usability of the system. So if I wanted to create a robotic system on my own that uses their stuff and people get interactions to write their own things on my own platform, well, now I can do a partnership with them and they get a percentage. Crazy. So there's levels to this ish, to this low code, no code thing. So I'm going to go ahead and break the hell out. I wanted to give a very long one today so that y'all had everything that, I've been gone for a minute and I'm going to be gone for a little bit more because I'm going to get grinding on my albums. I can't stream and record right now. And I'm still trying to figure out how to record the audio while I'm doing my video. But I can't do that and stream. So I'm looking at how I can optimize that process and in a way that makes sense. Because right now, I can pretty much pack my studio on my back, and as long as I got internet, I can at least make music. I can at least create content. I may just have to upload it because I can't stream it because I don't have broadband. But if I'm in a broadband area, it's easy for me to just quickly set up because my stuff is pretty much transportable. Take take a folding table, or you just take a table out of your hotel and then turn it into a studio. Like every hotel damn near has a table. So set up, especially if it's a laptop, 2 laptops and a keyboard and a microphone. Like that's it. So I'm gonna get going. Y'all be safe out on these streets. I'm gonna be back maybe later in the week. I'm gonna see where the market goes. I'm expecting a dip, not this week, but next week anyway. But again, I'm focusing on the creation of content to be able to be utility for royalties, and then the minute that I can start getting my royalties generated, so I can start showing you the numbers and start showing you how they're increasing, and then we can start breaking that down monthly and seeing what the month increases are, and start getting these dollars in. Again, I want to be transparent in showing how we're taking, like you're seeing that my numbers right now are little or nothing, right? Where is it? So year to date, about 99 cents from YouTube. Nothing. But that's, again, I'm not marketing, I'm not promoting. That's it just making money on its own, just from it just circulating, doing its thing. I'm not doing anything. So for me, in idle position, not doing a damn thing, it's making 99 it's made 99 cents this year. So basically my teacher taught me that the minute that you can make $1 off of a thing, you can make $100, you can make $1,000, you can make tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of dollars. It's now just the effort of your scaling. So get your leverage and scale, young man. So that's what I'm doing. Y'all are seeing right now the transparency that this is what came in year to date based off of the data I just download and dump. And I'll be doing this in the future as it's still manual. I'm gonna go through CD Baby dump days where you actually watch me go into here, clear out the data, reload the data, and um, play like download it, put it in, and then we look at the charts together. So we'll have chart days. Um, in our I'll do like we'll start doing private live streams. That's part of Toxic Hustle Pro as well. I'm gonna be doing private live streams so that we can actually see data and start really talking about it as within a business construct. Like, cause look, my thing is that then what you can see is, and it's not just that I'm doing it, is that we're contributing to seeing the same data and we're able to sit there and say, okay, this is what's going on, this is what's going on, and then that becomes part of the broadcast, and then that broadcast then gets casted out in a shortened form. But if people miss the highlights, if they get just the pieces, they'll get the pieces, but it'll be for everybody else that's pro members to be able to see all the data. We'll have everything's going to be underneath right now YouTube, but again, we're not relying on YouTube. Everything's going to be second backed up. All the videos will be backed up via automation, and I'll show how to do that. We're going to be downloading it and dumping it on one data platform, and then that platform will actually cast it out to YouTube's or whatever else. So that'll be where we download it and where we eject it out from. So this is how we'll be able to get work out, but be decentralized in our approach to how we distribute content out. And you'll be able to see all that. Again, that's how the system's to be transparent. Um, that's a sneak peek. I'm gonna get up out of here. Y'all be safe out in the streets. Yo, be sure to smash the like button if any of this content is helpful. They are not trying to let you see any of this data. I know a lot of y'all check out because you're gonna listen to me in 1.5 or 1.7 mode. I still appreciate y'all chilling and hanging out with the dude. RTP, shout out to RTP for being able posting some stuff that we could look into, and we also found some dope stuff. So if you missed that, go back and rewind the video in which RTP put some information and asked some questions about the solar energy, and we did a little walkthrough, and I saw some other stuff that is coming up with that. So anyway, I'm getting out of